Hello. How's it going, everyone? People in.
Hello, Diana.
Hi. Let's go. Okay.
Hi, Diana.
Hi there.
Diana,
Good afternoon. All right.
you get my homework.
What's up?
You get my homework.
I got most of you guys' homework. I don't remember exactly right now if I got each one because I didn't mark it like received, but I think I got yours. Yeah.
All
Pretty
right.
sure. In fact, I think, yeah, I got a lot of them, but I didn't make a list, so I might not be 100% sure. But if you sent it, I got it. I'm collecting them in a folder, but I haven't gone into. I see them when they come in the email, and then I just save the file to a folder to check them off later, and I didn't do that part yet.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Good.
Has anyone been up to anything with Illustrator? Anything special you want to share while people are popping in? Or nothing much to say other than the stars?
I tell you,
Say that you were saying?
during these COVID times, I found so much to do now that I'm retired. And I mean, I'm working on wood projects. I'm doing a little AI. I usually think about it more than I'm actually doing it. I think, oh, I should try this or I should do this. But at least I got my homework off, and that was a plus.
Well, it's amazing how we all think. Some people say, oh, I'm just stuck at home and don't know what to do. And I'm like, really? I am just so busy. You know? But then again, I'm teaching from home and I have a whole nother thing going on. But yeah, I have to say that I've been having trouble right now because I'm talking to you guys looking sideways because I've been having trouble connecting to VDI. And I don't know if anyone else has, but I try to be connected before class starts, and I tried and couldn't, so I finally started the class, and I'm still signing in as I speak with you guys, but yeah, I don't know what's up. So
Maybe let me share. Do you see my screen?
no, what for?
Oh, I was hoping I could share just.
Oh,
what
there
I
it is,
was
there it is,
practicing.
Let me see. I couldn't see it because I was hiding it with my thing. Oh, wow, look at your heart. Look at your stars. I like that kind of alien that went on the right. Oh, those are great. Those are really cool, Mary. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to share where I'm attached? Oh, this is very frustrating. I might have to teach you with my personal version of Illustrator, which isn't the same because, well, it's very similar. It's a Mac version, but I've been trying to connect for a while now and I can't connect. Let me just open my own Illustrator so that way. Oh, but I don't have the same files. Do I have the files downloaded on my computer? I don't know if I have this class files on my own computer. Anyway, I'll keep trying. So what we have done, let me have the view. Let me try one more time. And then what we did last week was really. One second. One last try. And if not, I'll give up for it for a little while. Oh, I think it heard me. I said, if not, I'll give up on it for a little while. And I scared it into being. Aha. It's opening up this time. And that's because it noticed that I opened my own Illustrator. And so VDI said, oh, I'm not going to be less. And it finally opened. Now I have two, my Illustrator and the VDI working.
You scared it. You put fear in it.
I scared it into just go work, be my class. Okay. All right. Oh, that's good news. It's still connecting, but what I wanted to say is as review, what we the last thing we were doing last week, we began to up until now we had created shapes with the shape making tools, you know, rectangles and circles and cool stars and stuff like that. And then towards the end of the class, we began to create shapes of our own. And we started with basic shapes, rectangles and circles or something like that. I think we started with a rectangle and an oval. And then we used what tool to modify the shape so that it completely changed? What tool did we choose?
The tool.
The what, what's it called?
Direct select.
Yes, it's the direct select. It's the white fcc.edu. My brain can't do talk and type. SBCs, SBBCC.edu. I can't do both at the same time. Trying to talk and say and write pipeline.sbcc.edu and it wasn't coming out. Yeah, so it's the direct selection tool. It's the white arrow, the one next to the black one. And it tends to select things similarly with you just grab something with a single click as if it were the black arrow. So what do you need to do for it to actually let you work the parts and pieces? How do you use the white selection tool? You just a single click works. Somebody?
Are you
Anyone?
talking about anchors?
Well, no, what I was trying to say is with the black selection tool, you grab, you know, the bounding box and you move them, make it whiter and thinner. But with the white selection tool, if you just single click, it does the same thing. You actually need to click twice as opposed to double click. It's just click and then click again on the, and now Matthew, you just said it on the, what do you click on the?
Anchors.
Or
Anchor points. Anchor
anchor
points.
points and paths. There you go.
Paths.
Trying to pull the words out from you guys. So perfect. So you select the white direction, the direct selection tool, and you select your object first. So that's like one click. And then you go and select the anchor you want to work with. And that's the second click. So it's 2 clicks. And then you grab that actual anchor. And that's the 3rd click if you had to initially select it. And if you had already had it selected, then it's just 2 clicks. All right, so I have Illustrator open in VDI. I'm still opening Bridge, so make sure that everyone did that. And that you have Bridge and Illustrator open. I got your email, Juliet, that you replied, and someone else. No, that was about the other class. So I got it, and yeah, remember everyone to ask me for help before it's too late. Like if you're not there, that was the other email I got. Just ask me so that I can help you catch up versus feeling lost. Okay. So we managed to make from a rectangle, we made this, you know, weird little shapes, all with straight lines. And then from a oval, we managed to make an oval that was all like a wobbly amoeba kind of shapey. By adding what did we add to those shapes?
Handles.
Handle, no. Let's try again. I'm going to open and share the file that we worked on last. Let me just share so that you see what I'm talking about, just to have a reference to what I'm asking. You don't have to open the same file.
We added anchor points, did we not?
Anchor points. That's exactly what I wanted to say. So are you seeing my Illustrator right now? Yeah. So what we had to do is add anchor points. So to a very simple shape that had only, 4 anchor points, what we did is we had to add more anchor points to turn it into a more complicated shape from 4 to more. And do you remember how we added those anchor points? What did we use to add the anchor points?
The pen.
We used the pen tool. Okay, went to the pen tool and we hovered over the shape and we were able to add more anchor points. Okay, so we had to have it selected first, which I didn't. And then once it was selected, we could add more anchor points. All right. that was just a quick reminder. Is anyone here who wasn't here last week? Anyone in class who was not here last week? Okay, and if you were not here, then hopefully you watched the video. Remember in the past, you didn't have a video to watch, but now if you miss a class or if you have to leave early or something, please make sure to watch the videos. Oh, I remember who the other email was. Got it. Someone who's gonna be late. Okay. All right, so go into the chat. There's only a few people who signed in the chat, so make sure to click on the chat and give a little hello. And then I'm going to close this file that I opened, and we're actually going to work on something else. But the reason I asked if everyone is here is because then if we need be, we can open the file from last week. But if people are here who weren't here last week, then I try to start with new files. So today we're gonna start, we're gonna do a variety of things, but we're gonna see how we can go with some basic shapes and create new shapes by joining and combining them. And also we're gonna continue with this last conversation where once you create a shape, you can then modify the shape beyond just adding paths. I like your comment that you're barely here. So that we are not sticking just with just straight lines or just curved lines like we did before. So we're gonna learn how to create just a drawing that you want out of scratch. Okay, there's a couple different tools to do that with. So I want us to head over to Bridge. And if you have the files, when you go to Bridge, if you've been already in Illustrator, Bridge, just by opening it, it should go to the same place unless you led it to some other place. So just to know, when you're in Bridge, is everyone seeing the class files? Is someone not seeing them? Does someone need a hand with finding the class files in through Bridge?
I'm seeing the class files, but I'm on a different, I got there from Pipeline, you know, that I didn't get there from Illustrator.
Not through Bridge. Yeah, if you're in Pipeline, just remind me, are you using VDI or your home files? Your home
I
Illustrator?
have the downloaded version. I downloaded it from, so it's not, it's the SBCC Illustrator.
No, if you downloaded it, it's because you paid for it. If not,
No,
you have.
I didn't. I did the, you know, there's two different versions, the HTML and the other one, and I'm doing the other one.
You're talking about VDI. You're not talking about
Oh,
Illustrator.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Got it. So
Don't
you're in
know these
VDI opening Illustrator. Okay. So if you want to share your screen, I can help you find the class files.
Okay.
And anyone else who needs help, this is the time to get help making sure you find the class files. And let me get that other Zoom window open. Okay, so you are there with Adobe. All you need to do is open Bridge. So go back.
I have
Yeah, there you go. Browsing Bridge works just fine. And then Bridge will open. And you can go to the expand, go to the far right of that top. No, go up to where it says help, window help, tools, you know, the topmost. Yeah, and now go to the farthest right where there's an X. Yeah, don't tickle X, but write the thing in right next to it. Expand, yeah. Fill your screen with that. Perfect. And now on the left side, go to this PC. Under libraries, yeah, click on this PC. And let's see what shows up. The third choice is Google Drive file stream. Click on that one, double click on that one actually. Now so go to shared drives and double click on that. Illustrator shared drive, double click on that.
Is there an easier way?
No, but
No.
you shouldn't need to do this again and again. And now class files on the left.
Okay.
This is just basically, you have to go find files. We're online and the files don't just show up in your computer. You're in a generic, it's like you drove to the school and you opened up a lab and you're in a generic school computer that people can use to do anything from cooking classes to Illustrator, and you have to navigate to the place where the Illustrator class files are, like opening a bunch of drawers and there's your stuff, right? So yeah, that's
So-
the way to do it.
What would happen if I did that, use those guys?
What do you mean by those guys? Show me again. You can't. This is inside. This is not usable. You would have to download it into your computer, but you're on VDI, so you can't. So only people who are working with their own personal version of Illustrator that they've paid for, can they download these and use them. But since you're using the school Illustrator, so through VDI, you have to go in to find them in the shared drive through VDI. So that's why half the class is doing it this way, and the other half is the other. So the day you pay for your own version, you can do it through that way. Okay. So it's not that you can't, but you can't because you don't own the program. So, there's a division in how to do it. So, so you can close that to not get confused.
Excuse me, Diana, could you kindly repeat quickly the path to get to the files, because your screen
Yeah.
is tiny. I can't see what you're doing.
Okay, so you can actually, just so you know, so we're all looking at Rhonda's screen right now. Notice at the top where it says you're viewing Rhonda's screen. See how it says view options? If you click on view options, you could go and make that window be bigger so that you can see things bigger on her screen or on mine, whoever's sharing screen. No, go to the, not you, Rhonda, because
Okay.
we are seeing your screen. Everyone else is seeing a big, you are viewing Rhonda's hub screen. You know what I mean? Do you see
Okay.
that,
Yeah.
Jean? And do you see that, Jean? I can't hear
I
you.
can barely see. So it's this PC, then Google Drive, then shared drives?
Yeah,
Yes.
but hold on. What I was trying to show you is how to see it bigger. When you say I can barely see, I'm trying to teach you how to see it bigger. So I'm not trying to show you yet where to find the files. I'm showing you how to see the shared screen zoomed in. Okay, Jean? So do you see where it says you are viewing Rhonda Hub's screen? Do you see the big green sign on top that says you're viewing? Okay, on the right side of that, do you see something that says view options? Okay, click on that view options and notice that you can make that bigger. You can click on seeing something 100% or 150 or something like that, and then you can see or fit to window, and then that might help you zoom in a bit more.
Got it.
Okay. Other than that, yes, when you go into shared drives, then you go into Illustrator shared drive and then class files. So if you look at that top line there that she has, Rhonda, can you put your mouse over that path, this PC, Google Drive? Yeah, right there. This PC, Google Drive, shared drives, Illustrator shared drive, class files. And in case you guys forget, this is a good time to grab your phone and take a picture of that path, so that later when you're trying to get to yourself, you can remember what the steps were. You know what I mean? You can go, where's the path? And oh, it's those 5 things I need to get into. But the good news is, if you close the computer and open up next week without having signed out from here, when you, like I did when I opened Bridge, I was already here, right? And that's the goal for you guys, that you don't really have to navigate to this every time. Juliet, how are you doing? You have the files? Mary, Vanessa, people who I'm not hearing from, if everyone's okay, Mayuri, if I got the files, okay, so I'm gonna stop Rhonda's sharing now. Thank you, Rhonda, for sharing. And gonna go and share my screen. Unless someone else, does anyone else need help? This is the time to ask me for help, so please do so if you need help. Nope. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and work on get a new file open. Okay, so we're gonna actually head over. Actually, you know what? We're in Bridge. Instead of a new file, let's open the Trace Ducky. I was gonna open it a little bit later, but let's open Trace Ducky. It says forbidden there. I'm gonna double click and I don't know why it has that little forbidden option there. Yeah, it's fine. It opened up. Okay. Is everyone seeing their little Trace Ducky?
Not
We're
yet.
not gonna start yet with the ducky. This is our goal, is to be able to trace the shape of this duck, not trace it, not have the computer trace it, but have us trace it with our tools. And right now, clearly you can see that what we know how to do won't be enough, right? Because this has got lots of ins and outs and yada yada. So we need to learn more about how to make shapes specific versus just a circle or an oval or moving paths around. Okay, so this is our end goal. I'm going to leave that here for a minute and have us open, go to File, New. And let's go with the basic setup that we've been using, because since we've been opening a 5x5 with 3 artboards, that's what's set up as a custom. So if you've done the class before and you already saved it up this one time, that should be showing up here. 5x5 by 3. If it isn't, then set 5x5 inches, 3 artboards, and then say create.
Title for that, Deanna? Title?
This one is new. We're creating it, so it doesn't have a title. So you're going to File, New, and you're creating it yourself. Okay, so File, New, and then just say create. So we don't put a, oh, I said close. So we don't put a title on it yet, but now that we've created it, we should, instead of leaving it untitled, we should actually save it right now. So let's go back to File and say File, Save. Please stop me if if I'm leaving anyone behind. Oh, Vanessa, thank you for putting the path there in the chat. That's the path to the files if someone needs it. So now in the Save As, we're gonna call this one My Shapes, like you're creating your own this time, because we're gonna be creating bunches of other shapes. And then again, like me, if you are already been saving here, you should be in the right place. You should see here that it already is in Illustrator, My Drive and stuff. But just in case you're not there, once if you see any of the files that you worked on last week, 210, which is last class, then you're in the right place. But if not, go to Google Drive. This is for people who are with me in VDI. At home, you go wherever you put yours. My Drive, double click on My Drive, and then find your Illustrator files, and that's where you save it. But see, I was already here because the computer remembers where I was and it takes me there. So I'm going to save my shapes. And then when this window appears asking me all these questions, yes, I want to keep it compatible. So we'll say okay to that.
So those that are using AI at home, their own version, and
Mhm.
I've enabled Bridge, so I'm new to Bridge.
Mhm.
How would I save that to Bridge?
That's especially if you've been using Lightroom and stuff like that might be confusing. You don't save anything to Bridge. Bridge is like the Finder in that you open from Bridge, but you navigate it in Bridge to find your files wherever you put them. So if you made a file in your desktop or in your documents folder, or if you left them in your downloads.
I see. So
Then-
Bridge automatically catalogs from what's on the laptop.
Yes, I mean, your files don't get put in a place called Bridge. You put them somewhere in your computer, and then with Bridge, you navigate to that place. So I'm going to switch to Bridge again, which is why we went ahead and navigated to this PC, shared drive, Illustrator. So if this is your computer, you might go to this PC, Documents, Illustrator files, and if you put them there, right? So you will find the files wherever you put them, right? So that's for a file that was existing file, the trace ducky. But the new one that we created, when we save it, then you have to go find where to put it. You have to go save and go find your documents. Where did you put your file? Do you have them in documents or in downloads? Where do you have your Illustrator files?
I have them in Documents under second Illustrator class.
Okay, so then you navigate to this PC, or if you're on a Mac, you go just directly to Documents. On a PC, you go to Documents and to your folder Illustrator second class. Juliet, your question?
Yes. I have something weird going on when I'm trying to save it. file name. First of all, it's just staying in cap locks and it's not letting me write past MYSH, and then it just erases.
Are you in VDI? Are you, by the way, are you in France or are you still here?
I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to share your
I can
screen so we
share.
can see what's happening? Let me stop this share. I'm not finding my tools to stop the share. Hold on. There we go. I'm gonna stop my share so you can share yours. All right. So
Okay.
share your screen, please. The saving, the opening and saving of files is always complicated enough at school where we all do the same thing. And here where half the school, half the class is doing one and half the class is doing another is a bit harder. So I'm seeing you're trying to
pretty
put in
sure
the
it was-
file name.
Yeah.
And you don't have your caps lock pressed on your computer,
No,
on your keyboard?
no. No, and watch if I,
Huh.
that's what happens. When I press A, it does this. It's clue what that could be about.
Oh, wow, that's weird. Go back,
Let me cancel this.
say save as again and see. This is VDI and yeah, it's doing, okay, so files save again, say save as this time, just to try. You can, yeah. Huh. That is weird. Is something pressed in your keyboard? Like, do you have a notebook on the edge of a key? Or sometimes the keyboard has something being pressed, like the control key or something.
No, there's nothing.
The keyboard, it's like your keyboard is not responding. It's doing weird stuff. Can you just unplug and plug your keyboard in again?
I'd have to.
Well,
I
try,
guess-
just call it that and see if you set save if it saves, because that's, just see if you can get it to save. It doesn't matter the name.
what just
Oh, there
happened.
you go. Oh, now it's working.
It's when I'm pressing the letter A. Okay, well. Let's
Well,
call,
it looks like maybe you got a
let's
crumb.
call,
Don't call it, don't put a letter A. You won't be able to save it with those, with that. The file
Oh.
won't, yeah. So just call it P and shape, whatever, just call it like that and save. You might have a little crumb
Okay.
stuff under your A key or something that's
hear
not
you.
allowing it, you know, that's, it's not an Illustrator thing, it's a keyboard thing. So, okay.
So that's, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Yeah, not everything is Illustrator's fault. In this case, it wasn't. But yeah, keyboards can get pretty, you know, sticky. I always recommend, and I'm not saying that Julia is doing that, but I always recommend if you have anything to drink or eat, like I bring it from way down here. I have a short table next to my desk and I put my water and anything I'm gonna eat there so that there's nothing affecting my keyboard. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to create some new shapes out of some basic shapes, and then we're going to create our own shape. So those are the things we're going to do today. So first, let's go back to the good old rectangle. Let's start with a rectangle. Let's give it a color fill. And once again, not for prettiness sake, but for instructional sake, I'm going to give it another very differently colored, bold stroke. So I gave it a, I'm even bolder to show so that you can see it well on the screen. So blue fill, contrasting orange stroke, just because I find it's easier for you guys to see, not because I think this is a good, pretty thing to do. And let's make a rectangle right there. And now let's make another rectangle that somehow overlaps it a little bit somewhere. And if you didn't manage to get them to overlap, then go back to the selection tool and grab it and make them overlap. Okay. It doesn't matter if you make them overlap in my same direction, as long as they overlap. Okay, so these are two distinct shapes. And what we're gonna do is say, okay, with two distinct shapes, how do I now make one shape out of these two? So first is gonna be functional, and then we're gonna discover some utility to this. So right now, there's a couple different ways to do this. And I'm gonna show you a couple different ones, and then you can choose what works best for you. But there's a simple tool here that allows us to connect existing shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and first select the two shapes, because you want to work on two shapes, you need to select them. Okay, if you select only one, the other one is as if it didn't even exist. So we need to select two. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of cast my net down in from some neutral area. Just grab those two. By the way, if you created those rectangles and you're done creating them, you need to go back to the V selection tool, okay, to now select these two. And I see one bounding box that's giving me two. And what I'm going to do, I forgot, sorry, that I need to get much bigger because you guys are seeing only part of my screen. Actually, I got a bit too big. Command 0, and I'm going to make my screen a bit smaller. I forget that I want to keep it so that you guys can see my entire screen and your half screen. So I'm redrawing my screen a little bit there. That's better. Okay. Hopefully that will make it work a bit better for you guys. Okay. So so now we have two shapes selected because we want to join them. And so there's a tool down here, which the shape is so ambiguous, it's hard to know how to describe it. But I kind of look at this one that looks like a bit like an iris, like a flower, and right underneath that one, it's, if you hover over, it's called the Shape Builder tool. This is an awesome tool. Click on that one. And in case if you use this one a lot, this got a shortcut to get to it, Shift M. So I usually just have people just pick it up. And now watch for a second. Look what's happening as I hover over this one or this one or this one. I'm hovering, I'm not clicking anywhere. But do you see kind of like that little grid line that appears as I hover? But the interesting thing that is that this piece that intersects is its own little kind of grid line, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tool to join these two shapes. And what I'm going to do, we'll see how right now it has a little plus sign on the point. The tip of the tool is the point of the arrow. So I'm going to click here and just drag and make a line that crosses across the intersection and goes to the other one. And then I'm going to let go. And boom. Now I've got one shape. I have joined those two shapes. I have eliminated that intersection, and now this is all one shape. Did that work for you guys?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's go ahead and practice our undo. So who remembers how to do an undo?
Control Z.
Yep. Control Z or Command C, Z for the word Zoom. Command Z if you're on a Mac, unless you're on VDI, in which case it's still Control C, Control Z. The other day someone told me it kept not working because I was saying Control C, and it's like, no, Control Z for zebra. Okay. So now we have the two shapes again. You can distinguish the difference that you see the outlines and you see the different parts. So now we're going to do actually something different. Now
Excuse
what
me,
we're
Diana,
Mhm.
Jean, for some reason, I'm not getting the tool to work, and I'm wondering if I'm doing it right. A dialog box came up, did I?
Okay, so the main reason why it wouldn't work is if you don't have the two shapes selected, because with one shape, there's nothing to join. So either click and drag in some blank area here to get the big bounding box, or click on one first, hold down Shift and click on the other. Either way to make sure you have both. Once you have both, the tool should work. And if that doesn't help them, and have you share the screen to see what's happening. You let me know if it's not working. Go ahead and share your screen. I can't hear you. Your sound is off.
I cannot make it work either. Can I share my screen?
Yeah. So I'm gonna stop my share. Okay, you go ahead.
So let me make it smaller first. If I can just select it.
So you've got selected both. Okay, so
Right,
what
so-
tool? Okay, so what
so
tool? Wait,
select
wait, wait.
both.
So no, yeah,
Hold on.
select both. Okay. Select both tools and then go to that shape. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and now from there, yeah, click in the middle. Yeah, click.
It
No,
can
no,
be
not in the,
anywhere.
not in the, anywhere in the colored area. Yeah, click and
Yeah.
drag, and there you go. Were you selecting both shapes?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and undo. Click, go ahead and do Command Z because I'm not sure what happened. Command Z and let's start again.
So okay.
Control or Command Z. I guess you're on your own. Yeah. Okay,
So
so
now-
click away.
I'm gonna select both
Yeah,
shapes, right?
yeah.
And then go into shape builder
Uh-huh.
and then just drag it from here to here.
Wow, it's interesting. The back one is not,
It gets unselected.
that is so weird. What setting do you have up there? You have like a merge live paint. I'm trying to see. Click and hold that tool. Go to the tool and click and hold. Like go to the same
The-
tool. Yeah, hold it down for a second. It's the shape builder tool. I thought you might have one of the versions underneath. No, you don't. And then up there at the top, let me see, when I click,
So just shiny rectangles on the side. Is it what
no,
happens?
yeah,
Did I
yeah.
mess up something?
No, you're not messing up, but I'm looking up at your choices at the top and you have something that says merge live paint. And I'm trying to see if that is what's messing it up.
I see that that was a choice when you click on that bubble looking thing under the orchid. Oh,
Yeah, under the orchid, there's the live paint, but she is on the right tool. Let me see. I'm gonna ask you to see if I'm gonna request remote control to see if there's anything I can click on to. Can you say yes to allowing me remote control of your computer? Did you see the request?
I haven't seen it. Hold on, let me go back into
Let me
this.
try again. Okay, I'm requesting. Are you on a Mac?
No, PC.
Wow, you know what? I'm requesting remote control and it's not even letting me send you the request. That's interesting. Is anyone else having the same?
What if I just do new rectangles? Oh, here.
Okay, are you
approved.
saying there's the request? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right,
This
so
is a delay.
now, yeah, now don't touch your mouse for a second. Let me be the one who runs it, okay? Let me just make sure first that these are two individual shapes. Yeah, there's nothing weird with them. Not that I expect it to be something weird, but I'm just trying to see. Select both, click on this guy, and even hovering over them, see how your bottom one isn't activating that? There we go. Now, let me see if now it works.
It has
Is it-
that.
This is bizarre. All I should say is to just restart your Illustrator. This is not a normal, no, I mean, this is not a normal, it's not like you're doing anything wrong. This is your tool just not doing what it has to do, which is really bizarre.
Do
Let
I
me-
create
let
maybe
me-
new
change-
rectangles?
Let me
Did I?
change tool
Yeah.
and go back to the tool again. Your tools are just,
Not working.
yeah, I'm gonna make one shape and I'm gonna make another shape. And now I'm gonna select both. And now I'm gonna go down here. Oh, it's working now. So I don't know what was strange about those shapes, but it's working just fine now.
Right.
So, yeah, I have no idea why your first two rectangles were not working. I can't venture to guess, but it's working now. So
All right. Thank
stopping your
you.
share. Jean, you were saying that it wasn't working for you, or wasn't it at first? Someone else said it wasn't working for them. Jean?
I was able to get it to work. I think my computer had frozen or was a glitch.
Okay. Anyone else for whom it's not working? I have no idea why hers, when she made her rectangles, it didn't work, but when I made the rectangles, it's worked. Those were complicated objects, you know, her rectangles and my rectangles, but it's one of those things where the teacher has the magic touch. I have no idea what happened, but sometimes you just got to redo it. And if it insists on happening, and this is rare, but on VDI, I find sometimes if you just close it, Illustrator, and open it up again. So I guess it's not, the VDI is awesome and that you can still have a program that otherwise you wouldn't use, but it's not perfect. It's a bit cumbersome. So anyway, all right. So you all saw how to join them. Let me show you some other parts of this tool. So now hopefully
Oh, if you could show us your screen.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for reminding me when others share, I have to sometimes be reminded as I head into class again. Okay, so if you do not have two shapes right now because you kind of left them in join and by now it doesn't undo anymore or whatever, just delete what you have and create two separate rectangles again, okay? And then grab one of them and change the, you know, the fill and the stroke to two other options, whatever other options you might want. Because I want to show you what happens when you have two shapes of different colors when you join them. Too much caffeine today. Had a long day.
Likewise.
Hope you can sleep tonight.
Yeah, it's a soda, diet Pepsi or something like that. It won't kill me. But yeah. All right, so everyone has two shapes with two different colors. Now watch. We're gonna select these two, and I'm gonna go and do the same thing. And I'm gonna join them. And when I let go, what happened to the colors?
They
Which
were
color?
the most recent
Yeah.
one.
And
Yeah,
it's, yeah, and in this case, it's not necessarily only the most recent one, but I mean, it
It's
is,
the
but it's
most
the one that,
recent.
it's the one that's on top, right?
Mm.
So
But
both.
it didn't take the stroke of the one on top. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yours was green, wasn't it? The pink and green?
Oh, hold on. You're right. Mine is pink and green, or, oh, that's weird. Oh, you're
That
right.
happened on mine too.
it
It's like
took-
they shared
Mine-
colors.
Mine
It
as
took-
well. My first rectangle is the primary color.
Yeah, usually it's the first rectangle. It's so interesting that we're all getting three different. Okay, I was teaching you this to show you how it's consistently the one that's on top is the one that the color works. And now there's actually three different results. I'm flabbergasted, but anyway, the whole point is
Deanna, I'm
one
sorry.
absorbs the color of the other. Yeah.
Are you saying that it should be the first triangle, the first rectangle, the one on the bottom, or the
No,
second one, the one on the top?
Apologize, the one on top. So usually the last one, or if you've inverted the order, the one on top tends to be the one that then everything adopts the one on top's color. But I don't remember having this where my color adopted the fill of the one on top and the stroke of the one on the bottom. This is actually news to me.
I wonder if they changed it, Deanna, because I've got the pay for version and it's, I mean, it's pretty stable, seems to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it on my paid for version because now I'm curious too. But yeah, you know, little things like that. This is an example of how sometimes teaching these things, it's like I learn things at the same time as I'm teaching them, because something that's been a certain way for 10 years or 20 years suddenly has a little shift. But anyway, the
I
whole
figured
point is,
something out.
yeah. Vanessa, you went on silent
Right. Do
again.
you want me to share my screen?
Yeah. Because as I need to, my Zoom is resisting coming up with the tag to stop sharing. I can't stop. My Zoom is being really weird today because it's not giving me the controls to stop sharing. Wow, where's my, where are all my Zoom tools are not wanting to, there, stop sharing. Okay. Vanessa is always, you should see the stuff she's doing behind the scenes while we're doing our basic squares. She's always working on something else.
Okay. You can
So
see.
you have purple and yellow on top, orange.
Okay. So
Select them both.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so if I start with, okay, let me select them. And then this, if I start in this shape, then it's going to keep,
That would
that.
make so much sense. Yeah.
it's going to keep that
No.
order.
But but the other fill, it changed.
Yeah,
It
but
did
then,
like
so,
it did like it did to me. It did a combination. It went purple.
but look, if I go
inside.
from the purple,
Yeah.
then it keeps the second outline. It's just a funky thing.
Yeah. Go ahead and do undo again. Because this time when you started from the top one, it kept the top one. But when you start from the bottom one, it only adopted the stroke of the bottom one and the center of the top one. See, which is what it did to me. It went orange and purple versus yellow and purple, which is when you start from the top, it goes yellow and purple. So that's interesting. Yellow and purple when you go from the top, and orange and purple when you go from the bottom. Like it picks up the stroke. So there you go. I'm gonna have to research and see if there's any like reasoning beyond just figuring it out. These things like
Maybe it
Vanessa's.
just means you have, so if you want it to be exactly like this one, then you have to
Start from the top
start
one.
with that one, and it has to be on
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
Something like
Anyway. Thanks. That's perfect. That's great. I love it. You're thinking ahead and playing around doing other stuff. The other day we finished the meeting and she sent me 2 seconds later this awesome radio with all these cool little things and features. And so it's like, yeah. All right. Share my screen. There we go. Now you guys always move over to the right. So let me undo this one because there's actually many more interesting things that can happen. So go ahead and do a Command Z again and separate your two shapes again. You know, like make sure you see two separate shapes. And again, if the Command Z is because you've been doing other stuff suddenly stop working because you've changed your path, just, you know, recreate two shapes again and ideally have two different colors. Because I'm going to show you something. This tool can do a ton of stuff. And let's select both again. And now what I'm going to have us do with it is I'm selecting that tool again. Now I'm actually, notice how it treats the intersection as a separate shape. I'm going to go ahead and join only this bottom with the intersection. I'm not going to keep going. Okay. So watch what's going to happen. I'm going to click and drag like that. And then I'm done. And so my general shape doesn't seem to have changed much, but look what happens when let me go back to the selection tool, click away because right now they're connected. And actually it's like I've bitten a little chunk off. The intersection has been bitten off the top shape. See that? I'm gonna Command Z. So you see again, I have selected both and just connected these two. So what I'm doing is making this piece here join that there. But to do that, then to show you, it needs to come from somewhere, and it came from this one. Now, right now, it might seem like, well, where's all this coming from? So again, every time I finish showing you something, I do Control Z to undo it until I see my two initial pieces again. Now I'm going to actually draw a line only on this bottom piece. That's it. So I'm going to draw a line right here and let go. And now look what happened. You can see because of the stroke, it's like I've cut this off from that. And now I have three shapes. And the bottom one never even got messed up with. So as these paths that overlap become three, create that new shape. That little intersection becomes its own shape. Every time I'm showing you this, when I pull it open, I have to change to another. So now I'm going to drag across this one only. And I'm going to drag across this one only. So now I dragged across each individual piece on their own. So now I'm going to go back to the selection tool, click away, and start separating them. And I discover that I actually have two pieces that I've bitten a chunk off with this little piece as its own piece in the middle. Okay. Now, believe it or not, none of this seems like a high design, but we're starting with some just generic shapes, but you can begin to see how you can get some interesting possibilities out of just two basic rectangles. And it gets better when we start playing with this with other shapes. So I keep selecting the direct selection tool, click away to delete the selection, and then you can individually move them around. Okay. Now I'm going to go to Control Z, 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 Z. So enough Z's. I never let go of the control, and I tap Z enough times that I go back to my original set of shapes. Okay. If by now you've lost the original set of shapes, then again, as I said, make them. Now watch. I'm selecting them both. And now I'm going to do something that's opposite of what we've been doing. This has been joining. I've been building shapes, even though I've been cutting things out. It's like nothing has disappeared yet. I've just kind of made a new shape out of two, pieces have been cut out to make a new shape. But now, see the little plus sign that's under my shape, my tool? I'm actually going to go ahead and click the Alt or Option key, Alt for PC, Option for the Mac, and see how instead of a plus sign, now I see a minus. Do you see that little minus? Okay, so I'm going to hold down the Alt or Option key. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag across only these two pieces. When I let go, they disappeared. And they created a new shape. I'm going to do Control Z. And this time I'm going to watch this one. This is kind of fun. I'm going to hit my Alt and Option and just get rid of this little intersection. Just drag across the intersection, let go. And there you go. Now I've made those two shapes, but without the intersection. So when you hit the minus Alt or Option key, whatever you drag across disappears. It actually goes away. Control Z, Z. So now I've been playing with this a little bit. What I want to do now is show you a couple more complicated shapes, and then I want you to try to show me what is or isn't working for you. So I'm going to put another rectangle right here, and I'm going to give it some final funky set of colors. Purple. It's getting really colorful here. So now I'm going to select all three. So there's a lot of things to interact with here. And with the shape builder, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a hole right here by holding down the Option key and having this piece disappear. And then I'm gonna make a hole right there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna join these two pieces. Oh, I did it with the option key, sorry. I'm gonna join these two pieces. That becomes one. And then I'm gonna undo and get rid of this little bit. So basically I've been playing around and I ended up with this. I've joined some things, I've deleted some others, I've put things together. A little bit randomly, but pretty cool. I'm going to show you what this looks like maybe with circles. And then after that, I'll let you guys tell me, well, it is or isn't working for me. So I'm going to make a circle here and another circle there and another circle there, a small one there. And then I'm going to select these three and I'm going to play around with that a little bit. I'm going to get rid of this piece and I'm going to get rid of that piece and that piece. And then I made that little shape, for example. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and now tell me if you have anything that is or isn't working or questions, just playing around. If you want to share your screen to tell me how it's working out for you, or if you're making some fun shapes, make a couple of circles and make a little, knock out some eyes for the teddy bear. We're kind of knocking out pieces of it, right? I like it when you can see everyone busily working on it. Any questions? Anyone for whom it is or isn't working? All right, so much focus. Gustavo, did you get my email in response to your question?
Yes, Yana.
Okay.
I received, and
Okay.
I am thinking about it.
Okay, great. You're welcome.
Are we playing around with our rectangles too?
What's that?
Are we playing our around with the rectangle page too?
Yeah, yeah, whichever you want. Rectangles or circles, or start combining them, I'm gonna make a circle over here, and then I'm gonna make a rectangle. Oh, here's the one that I want us all to do when you're done playing around a little bit. How about we all make a circle, a big circle? You can go to another page. And then let's make a star. And I've chosen the star tool and I'm gonna change the colors, pink star. And for the star, I'm gonna eliminate the stroke. Actually, I find that the stroke doesn't work well with the star. And I'm going to make a star. I'm gonna kind of click here in the center and make a little star. Right. And then I'm gonna choose both shapes. And I'm gonna now knock out the little star with the option minus star. And there you go. I've created this. Oh, I made my star a bit too big so that it's actually overlapping a little bit on the edges. But pretty cool, huh? Let me actually undo that and make the star fit a little bit smaller, because I forgot what I did forget about the star is that it's gonna take on the stroke of the piece that it's inside of. And so that's what made the tips go further. So I'm gonna make the star be inside the tips. Now I'm selecting both. And now I'm going to this tool and I'm going to the Alt or Option and dragging across the star. And now I have this new shape. with a cutout star. And in fact, that's really cut out. Like if I put this shape on top of something else, you'll see that it's truly a cutout. Like, let me give it a different color so you can really see, because right now I'm putting it on top of the same shape. But see how it really is, if I move it over here, it really is transparent. I really did just knock it out. It's gone. I made an empty hole in my shape. So once again, I just put a star above a circle, and then I selected both at the same time, and then I knocked out the star. How's it going? Questions or shapes you're creating that you want to share? Shapes you're trying to make that are not coming out?
Going well.
Okay. I'm going to add a new artboard. So I went to the artboard tool, remember down here. And there's this, if I remember correctly, I don't remember, someone once made this cutest little, let me get rid of the stroke and maybe make it cutest little brown bear. I'm trying to remember the shapes they used, but they used two little circles, a student, just, and then two little ears. Like that. And then if you select all, and I guess you made arms and stuff, but I'm going to join all these shapes by dragging across all of them. See, so now I'm going to drag across that and across that and across that. And now I've created my little bear. And then we can maybe give it little tiny stars for eyes. Is that going to be too creepy? Two little stars. I don't know. Those eyes are a little bit creepy. Let me give them a little color here. Trying to work in such a tiny little space because I want you guys to see it. Okay, and now I'm going to knock out the little stars. Oh, let me go and get bigger so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I am selecting all of that, and then I'm going to knock out just the little stars. Anyway. How's it going? That's nowhere near as cute as the one that someone made the other day. Vanessa's already laughing. I'm like, what are you making? Okay. Any questions? Something you want to ask or say or do? Because actually we're going to use this tool to make a flower. So I just want us to finish doing a bit of this, and then we're going to actually file, and we're going to, and I'm going to teach you a couple other things about shapes, and then we're going to make a really cool flower.
Before, when we were talking about making stars and trying to get them back into the kind of default kind of shape, and when I was fooling around on the internet, there was a video, and it said if you hold Control Shift and Alt, that it will clear the funny shape and give you a traditional kind of star.
When you're making this star.
Yeah.
So
if your star had
okay,
turned into
so there you go. So now I made a
Yeah.
weird star, and now if I go Control, say again what?
Well, but before you start to draw it, you just click and
Okay.
then hit Control Alt Shift and draw it. So click,
I am, but this is what's coming out right now. Control Alt Shift. Okay. Well, that's what Control Alt Shift gives me, but
it worked for me just now, but I can't get it to work again.
funny.
Maybe you have to start to draw it just a little bit and then do Control Alt Shift. It's,
Yeah, but now that it got that thing.
well, just a tiny little bit before you draw it. Well, I don't want to take up class time.
No, that's fine, but that's good. I mean. Anyway, no, but that was a good one, but it kind of gave. It loses all of its tips when I do the Control Alt Shift. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm always like hearing stuff. But, all right, so y'all ready to try something new? Or with this knowledge, try something.
Sure.
Remember to take little screenshots of the stuff that you're doing so that I see, because when I let you run solo a little bit later, I like you showing me the things that you're doing. So now let's go ahead and let's say file new. Let's make another new. And we'll end up just again, say create to the thing that's coming up. And now we'll say save, file save. And with this one, we're just going to call flower. We're going to end up with a flower. See how you don't need to find where to save it anymore? It's already going to the same place, right? And hopefully next week too, and next week too. Once you find that place one time, the computer always tries to go save to that same place until you change it. So now I'm saving to the flower. Not to the file. I'm saving my flower file to the folder. And now we're going to go ahead and I want to keep these open because we're going to go back and play with these shapes. So we're going to end up with the ducky. So now we have 3 files open. We have the ducky is still there. We have my shapes, and now we have the flower. Okay. And I just said Control plus a little bit so that we can have just one of the screens open. All right. So now I want to show you a few more things about shapes. So let's go make a circle. And let's choose, this time choose the color that you want a flower to be. So maybe my flower will be, what color shall my flower be today? It'll be bright orange. And I'm going to give it a really thin outline. A little thin. Thin green stroke. Maybe half a point. Maybe 1 point for now. We'll see, because you guys can see a 1 point better. All right. So now this is a very computerized flower made out of shapes. It's not like you were hand drawing a flower yet. We're going to get to hand drawing, but this is still going to be a computer made out of shapes. So we're going to use 2 circles to find a beautiful petal. And so, but before we show you a little bit about flipping and rotating elements, okay? So let's go ahead and make an oval, something that's very much not round. A shape that's very much not round, so that when you flip it, you really see it flipping. So I just want to remind you that in the past, I've shown you how to twirl things. And what tool did I tell you to twirl? Do you remember? If I were to want to flip this around, what should I use right now? I'm in my circle, make circle tool. So what should I do?
Cursor on
Selection
the
tool.
corner.
The select tool and go by the anchor point.
Select tool and then no, not by the, go by,
Well,
go.
the corner of the border, whatever
Border.
you call that.
Yeah, that's fine. So this is the bounding box. No, but that's good because the anchor point would be the one that makes the shape. And this is just the box that holds it, like a little basket holding your eggs. So we go to the corner and hover outside of it. But actually, as long as you're in any of these points, when you get the curved cool, then you turn. But watch, when I turn here, where is it turning from? What's this? It's using like that center point, right? Remember I told you guys the center point doesn't necessarily do too much, but what it does is have a place to twirl around, right? It's the center of the object. So that's the utility, right? Utilitarianism or not of that center point. Well, what if, okay, so I'm going to go leave it up front again. So try that, try to twirl it like that. Well, what if you are actually trying to twirl it from some other place? So I'm going to go ahead and move this up. And by the way, this is not the flower that I'm talking about making, but this is still going to end up with a flower. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, kind of like this is half the, see how it's about half of my page ish. I'm going to make it about yay big. So everyone make your oval be about half the size of the page and up high like that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to make some petals around. So now what I want to do is I want to make this same petal appear over there and over there and over there and over there and over there. Does that make sense? So to do that, this isn't going to work because this twirls kind of on the center of this oval. So I need a petal like this to copy itself, but twirling from the middle. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go ahead and choose some other tools that I have here, which see the shape builder we've been using and that little flowery looking thing right above that. You see this little backwards circle? That's the rotate tool. So watch how I use the rotate tool first. Don't try to do it because it's a 2-click process. So first I'm going to click on the rotate tool. Notice that when I clicked on the rotate tool, my bounding box disappeared. Do you see that? I'm going to get this a little bit bigger so you can see the details. You see how my bounding box disappeared? And what is prominent once I click the rotate tool for the first time, that big center point is pretty prominent. See that? So now I'm not clicking anywhere, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my place from which the shape is going to rotate. The moment I click, so I've selected the tool, whatever I click on is going to be the rotation point. So watch, I'm going to put my mouse on this anchor point and click one time. And you see how that center point kind of moved? Now watch, now with my mouse, I'm going to click and drag and see how it's now rotating from that point. So once again, you select your shape, you go click on this rotation and the default center point. Now you click at the bottom anchor point, and now with your mouse, which now is just looking like a regular arrow, which it isn't, it's a bit tricky. You just click and drag it. Now, we are not making duplicates of this shape, so it's not making us a flower, but you can see the potential, right? For this flower. Get a little bit smaller. Okay, so now does anyone remember I showed you guys a shortcut to make a copy, but I'm not sure. Before I move on to copying, did this work for everyone?
Yes.
Now, anyone for whom this little flower is not rotating from where you want it to rotate? Juliet, yeah?
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, I'm having an issue. I just opened a new file, new page. I have the 3 boards and everything, but when I go to make a circle, it's not allowing me to have a fill, and I don't understand why. And I didn't change anything between one page to the other.
It's so weird. It feels as if you're having some kind of a glitch in your system because you couldn't do the A and now it's not giving you a fill. So you've got a shape selected or you're just going.
Like-
Make sure you have a tool that can be filled. Make sure your
Okay, I got it.
ellipse is there.
Okay.
And then go and choose a fill. Is it letting you now? Here, why don't you just share your screen again? Because that seems to be the better.
Just a weird, okay, I'll be quick.
No, that's fine. I mean, mhm.
Okay. And I got a fill, but by going over and doing it like this, like it's super complicated, not like.
Okay,
So let-
so yeah, click on that. It's like, no, go to the, wait, don't go, go up to the little, like, see where you say 0, that's on a white thing. Okay,
Mhm.
right to the, right a little bit to the corner to the right, there's like 3 little, yeah, click on that. And now, it's not showing you the regular. I was gonna say, I thought here it would let you choose the right swatches. Why are you seeing the swatches this way? You got weird stuff.
Ooh, what's this?
No, that's got nothing to do with web safe. Go to, I'm trying to see if you have the right, go to the fill that's on the far right in the properties panel, way on the far right of your screen. Click on that fill there that shows pink. There's a little pink box on the bottom, in the middle-ish. You see another pink? Click on that one. Is that one showing you the swatches? Yeah, that one's showing you swatches. So see how in this one of it up above, you can choose like a little painter's palette to the right of the pink. See how you can choose a painter's palette or the swatches? So that's all it was, but you weren't seeming to be getting those choices up there. Go and try that again from up there. I'm not seeing how you switched it there, but you can go and do it from the right then, which is
Okay.
exactly the same, but I'd have to see how that ended up there. But that's the idea. It's 2 different ways of doing it, seeing the same thing.
Okay.
Okay, now make this into an oval. Make this into an oval shape by grabbing your, no, you have to grab the move tool because right now you're, yeah. Go to the move tool and pull one of the edges up. Go to the, yeah. Are you holding down the shift key to
No.
make a circle? Juliet?
Yeah.
You're not holding down the shift key?
I am now.
No, because I don't want you to. I wanted you to make an oval, but when you pulled up from the middle, it opened up as a circle. So, select your circle again. Don't make a new one. No, don't make a new one. Select your existing circle, say cancel. Go back to your selection tool and select that, yeah. And now just, you should be able to grab that top or bottom and pull it up and get an oval out of it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
And then from the sides, make it skinnier or something. Cool. And now go select your rotate tool on the left. And now click on the bottom place. Yeah. One time, a single click. And now, no, you didn't click. See how your rotate, your angle is still, you have to click right there. Make a click.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you can go and grab the pink from anywhere and start twirling it, and it'll twirl from that place where you clicked.
Got
See
it.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Now, just I'm going to show it on Juliet's while I talk her through it, but everyone else, I'm going to show her something different. Go back to the rotate tool and click the rotate tool again. Okay. And now go and click somewhere else. Click, for example, on, yeah, that side. Yeah, click there. Okay. And now you can rotate, and you're going to be rotating from that side. Yeah, click and drag. And see how now you're rotating from that new point? You guys see that?
Yeah.
Try rotating your shapes now. So now every time you want to change the center of rotation, you need to go and click on the tool again. And then the tool will turn into that little crosshairs, and then you click on some other point, and then you can go and grab the color fill and start flipping it again through some other way. And then the coolest thing, actually, stop there. Now click the rotate tool again now. Okay, and now click somewhere on the white. No, click somewhere on some white. Yeah, click there. See now where she put her rotation spot? Somewhere in the white. Now go to the shape and start rotating it.
Oh,
And now it's still rotating from that axis. Pretty cool, huh? Isn't that great? It just rotates from wherever you drop that point. And how you drop it is always going back to the tool, getting your little crosshairs, drop that point somewhere, and then wherever you drop it, there you get that. All right, thank you for showing us that.
Okay.
All right, anyone?
Yeah.
else?
Hey, Diana. Mine's
Yes.
not working.
Okay, Mary, wanna go ahead and share your screen?
Mhm. So I got can you see my screen?
Yeah. Mhm. Why don't you go ahead and do a little command minus, control minus to make it a bit smaller? Good. Yeah, that way we see the whole rotation. Okay. All right.
So I have the shape. I go
Now
to the
go to tool. Mhm. Okay, and now click there one time. Mhm. And
then
now grab it. Yeah. And no.
Do I need
You
to
have
go?
to stay in the rotate tool. Yeah. And now drag. Click and drag.
Oh, okay.
There
I
it
thought I
is.
had to go to this
No.
tool.
Yeah, you were changing tool. So of course it stopped working. It's the rotate tool that rotates it. But after
Okay.
you click the axis. So now move the axis there where you are. Move the axis to some white area. Yeah. Click. There you go. You see that little white, and now grab the color and start moving
I
it
see.
around. Okay.
Now it works.
Yeah, it works. Perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Anyone else who needs to make sure it's working for you? Okay. So if that's working for everyone, now I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to do something with this little guy. We're going to make little copies of that petal. Instead of just having it rotate willy-nilly, we're going to actually have it leave a version of itself every time you stop. And then that's how we're going to make our petals. Okay. We're going to make a flower in a couple different ways, but this is what first one we're going to do. So now you see why putting it kind of top center matters, because we're going to be leaving a version. So make it sure that it's not bigger than your whole artboard, and then start with that one. And now, yes, I'm going to hit that, that center point as my anchor. And now watch. You already know that if I rotate, it's going to rotate, right? But it's going to disappear. So to make a copy of right before I rotate, if I hold down the control and the option key, or for you Mac people, the command and the option key, look, I get two little arrows now. So watch, just watch. Those two little arrows, I need someone popped in and dropped my arrow. So I had to redo it because I went to allow someone in, and that lost my tool. So here we go. So now I put those two fingers on my, don't leave my keyboard. And now I'm going to drag, sorry. I'm going to undo that. Let me undo that because I had to, since I clicked on for another, since I had to go let the other computer in, it stopped working. So here we go. Let me click in there. Okay. So now I'm going to not the control and the option actually, in fact, but just the option or alt. And now when I go to the right, somewhere around there, and let go, I've made a copy of it. Pretty cool. And by the way, we want to always keep the anchor in that same point. You don't want to keep moving, but every time you hold the alt key and go, oh, I'm doing that wrong again. I keep pressing the center, which I shouldn't. Oh my God, why is it not?
My alt key makes a minus.
It's interesting. It's making me, keeps not. I'm One thing that's confusing me, guys, is that I always work on a Mac, and on the PC, I look down and I'm automatically pressing the opposite key. So I have to be looking down. When you click that center and you hold down the Alt or Option key, you should see this little double-headed arrow. Who said that it makes a minus?
Rhonda did.
Are you on a Mac?
No.
It should be giving you two arrows, the Alt or Option key, not the Control, nothing else, but just the Alt or Option key.
Just so I've got the rotation tool highlighted.
Uh-huh.
And when I press the Alt key, it's it goes minus. I mean, there's a plus, but then there's a little minus underneath it. I don't have the double arrows.
Right after you've selected the.
Well, I'll select the bottom thing again. Oh, there I got the double arrows. I'm okay.
Right after you select
Sorry.
the bottom, but you're right, it shouldn't be making you select the.
I have to go do the point again.
Yeah.
The rotate thing
You shouldn't
again.
you shouldn't have to keep doing the point again in my memory of this, but I guess it is asking us to always click on the same spot. I would have thought. There's probably another. And now I'm going to make another little, maybe a little yellow. Oops, not that one. Make a little yellow ellipse in the center or something. It's not the best way to make a flower, but I just wanted to show you the possibilities. There's a whole horde of different tips and tricks that I want to show you, but that's one pretty, it's more like a pinwheel than a flower, right? Or something. It's 6:29. I help you with this flower, then we're gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna show you a completely different way to make one that's actually gonna be using a couple of other tools and using the join shape, the shape builder that we used, plus these rotates. And we're gonna get some transparencies, and it's gonna be a much cooler flower, but now you have an idea of how to use these tools. For those of you who don't want to take a long break and want to play around with this, let me just show you something quick. If you make a shape that is not symmetrical, so I'm going to actually let me give you an example of a shape that's not symmetrical. I'm going to cut this out. No, I'm not going to cut it out. I'm going to join it.
Excuse me, Diana. When
Yes.
on the PC, when I'm using the rotate tool and I've selected the anchor point that I want to rotate on, in order to make the copy, I use the Control Alt key or what was?
Not the Control, just the Alt key.
Oh,
At first I said Control Alt, and then I went, no, just the Alt key. I have to always keep revising my shortcuts on the PC. Just the Alt key. So, by the way, guys, that's on everything. Look at my screen. I have a different shape in front of me right now, right? Hold down the Option or Alt key, Option for the Mac or Alt for the PC. Click and drag. I've made a copy. Okay. So that wasn't just a function of the rotate key. That's just how you copy a shape in Illustrator. Hold down, select something that exists, hold down the Option or Alt, and you drag out and a copy gets made. Okay. So we happened to do it in the midst of a rotation. So we were getting a copy of the rotation, but that's just a quick copy. So watch this for a second. I made a shape here that's not symmetrical so that you can see that there's like a little thing sticking out towards the left. If I select that shape and I go to the rotate tool, right under the rotate tool, there's the reflect tool, which in this case, because it's got something uneven, you'll make it work. If you have something that's even, you won't see it work. Again, from that center point, just like before, if I just kind of drag, see how it looks like a rotation, but you're really flipping it. Does that make sense? I'm gonna actually let me add something to this shape so it's even more obvious that it's not a symmetry. Let me join this. You guys are doing so well that I wasn't going to show you this right now, but you're doing so well that I thought I'd show it to you. So this is very much unsymmetrical. So if I click, this is not a rotation. A rotation wouldn't end up in this, and it's a complete flip, right? So I just thought I'd show you that, as opposed to that would be rotating it, but flip. Okay, so now I'm ending up with the stuff on the different side. Okay, try to do this with a shape that's symmetrical. You can't tell the difference between a flip and a rotate. So I just wanted to show you that they sit right under each other. For the most part, I just wanted to show you that. Don't want to do much more than that. Okay, let's take a break unless someone needs help with this flower. I hate that little yellow stroke, but maybe green and make me like it a bit better. I gave a stroke so you could see each individual element. Okay, don't forget to save your file. File save, or I always do the shortcut Control S. Okay, it already has a name and everything, so that's all we need for it to be saved. Do a little screenshot, and then that way you have more things to send me later. And let's take our break. So it's 6:33. We're gonna do 15 minutes, which brings us to 6:48, right?
Hi, Diana, it's Jean. I am not getting that copy at all. Like, I've tried all those keyboard.
Okay, so share your screen. Okay, you guys, I'll see you at 6:48. I'll help Jean and then I'll take a break, but yeah, y'all.
I'll be staying to watch that bit.
Yeah. So go ahead, Jean. Share your screen. Okay. Okay, so now select the shape first. Without the shape selected, nothing works. Select the shape, perfect. Now click on the rotate tool and select that thing. Perfect. Now go with your mouse on that. Now go and click your option key with your mouse, sorry, with your finger, click your alt or option key, your alt key. Okay, see how you get a double arrow? Go to the yellow part of the thing. See how you get the double yellow thing? There you go. You got your copy. Okay, now click again in the center point. And now go to the yellow, hold down your alt key. Oh, say cancel. Yeah, click. You don't, yeah. Yeah, hold down. Yeah. Okay, hold down the alt key now. Are you holding down the alt key? You need to be over the yellow. You need to be in the body of the shape. Yeah, now hold down the alt or option key. No, cancel. You can see when it's got that shape that you're about to change the anchor position. So see how now it's in the middle of nowhere? Go click it, get back into its spot. That crosshairs is where you click your anchor. So click. Yeah, Right there. That, okay. Now move into the yellow portion of the thing and now hold your Alt key. There you go. And that's how you get another. Okay. Now you go back and you click again. See when you get the crosshairs, it's to click the anchor. Once you've clicked it, now you moved into the color of it. Click the anchor. Yeah. And now, there you go. Okay. Perfect. Juliet, did you want to try that out since you said you were going to hang out, or?
Thank
I
you.
got it. I got it. I
You
watched
got
that.
it? Okay, perfect. All right, so let's take a break. I'll see you. And now there's about 10, 11 minutes left at 6:48. Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to mute everyone. That way, if you make noises, they stay in your room. All right. Okay. Is everyone still there? Coming back? Rejoining? So I see a hand up. Jean, is that from before or is it a new hand up? All right. So Vanessa was proposing to reset the workspace. I'm assuming it was from her Juliet, who was having some weird stuff happening to her. Maybe resetting your workspace. Okay. That was from a while ago. Hi, Aldi is here. Is everyone else here? All right. So we're gonna go ahead and Mayuri, I'm muting you because I'm hearing a lot of background noise whenever you unmute yourself. So go ahead and mute yourself when you need to speak. But whenever you're not speaking, leave yourself on mute, because whenever you unmute, I'm hearing like as if a truck is coming by. I don't know, there's some kind of problem in the communication. Is that okay? All right, good. All right. Share my screen. All right, so here we are. We have let's move over to a new artboard. So remember, I hold down the space bar to get the little hand, and then you can click and drag yourself around to move to the new artboard. And now I want us to actually make a perfect circle. So go choose your ellipse. I'm going to go ahead and choose a different color since I've already used this color. I'm going to make this one light green, and my stroke is going to be maybe blue. For now, I want the thin stroke, but I want one because I want to be able to show you guys some distinction. So I'm just putting a small stroke in there. Okay, so I'm going to make a perfect circle, and other than using guides and stuff like that, the other way to make a perfect circle is that when you choose the ellipse, right before you start making your circle, hold down the shift key. And then when you draw your circle, you can do nothing other than make a circle. You know what I mean? Only a circle comes out as long as your shift is held down. So make a circle and have it be about yay big, you know, basically a little bit bigger than half. You can change this. I'm going to move it here to the middle. You can see it a bit better. It could be a little bit bigger, in fact. And so I hold down the shift again, grab the corner and make it a little bit bigger. And now, once I have that circle done, now I'm going to ask you guys to make a copy. And remember how we had made a copy? I'm going to push it over here to the side. Watch what I'm doing first. I'm going to hover, I'm still in my, now I'm back in my, I'm done making circles. One circle I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna copy it so it's identical. I want it to be exactly identical. So now instead of making a new circle, which is hard to make identical, I'm just going to, unless I did it by measurements, then I'm gonna go up to the blue, black or V selection tool again, hover over the shape, make sure it's selected. Hold down the Option or Alt key, get my little doubling thing, and then watch for a minute. I'm gonna also hold down the Shift key at the same time. So first I'm gonna, not the same time, I'm gonna put down the Alt key, get my little double, drag my copy out, but see, it's hard to make sure that it stops exactly right. But if I hold down the Shift key, then I can't move it up or down. It forces it to stay in that line. And then watch what I'm doing. I'm gonna make an overlap, watching the intersection and making the intersection be a shape that's going to be the petal of our flower. So if you make a really fat intersection, then that's a very fat petal. If you make a smaller intersection, you have like a slimmer petal. And then when you like the shape for that intersection, you let go of your mouse and then let go of your hands shortcuts. And now you'll have two shapes that have an intersection that we're going to use for our petal. Now I'm going to do that again. After you get your first circle, move it to the side, scooch it over to the side so you have place to put the other one here, okay? Then hold down the Option key, start pulling out your copy, but it can go anywhere. And if you want to force it to stay exactly right, then hold down the Shift key and that forces it to stay right on the line. The Shift key always constrains things. And then move to the right, to the left until you find a shape that you like for your petal. And when you find that shape that you like, you let go of your mouse first. So everything sits exactly in the spot, and then you let go of your keyboard. Okay. All right, so now we have two shapes. We're going to select both of them. And once you have both selected, and that's pretty important, a lot of people, it doesn't work because they only leave one selected. You need to have both selected, one big bounding box. Let's go to that shape builder tool. And we're going to use the minus or the Alt or Option to get rid of the two things that we don't need, which is that one and that one. Now, I'm going to undo that again, and I want you guys to think of one thing. When I overlap this with this, there's two pieces in here. There's the piece that comes from this one and the piece that comes from that one. And the intersection has two portions of a circle. Does that make sense? So now when I hold down the Option key and get rid of this and get rid of that, I'm left with that petal. That's going to be my flower petal. Now when I go to the selection tool and click away, it looks like one petal. But in reality, watch, there's two, right? They just happen to be one on top of the other. Does that make sense? Because it was the intersection of the two shapes. Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to grab one of those, hold down the Shift key and drag it up until it intersects exactly right. See how that intersects exactly right? So once again, I'm going to undo that. When you're done getting rid of those two pieces, you don't know it, but you have two pieces here. I know it, so I'm telling you about that, but just if you think it through. If you move it without holding the Shift key, you'll end up with a second piece that might or not be perfectly intersecting. If you're good at using those pink lines, you might, but to make sure, if you hold down the Shift key when you move it, then for sure, it will go only straight up. See what I mean? And then you wait until the pink guidelines tell you the word intersect, boom, right there. And when it says intersect, you let go of your mouse. Now you have two perfectly intersecting petals. Yeah.
That didn't work at all.
Okay. So I'm going to stop my share. Paul, you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I didn't have a copy either.
Or Robert?
Okay.
You know what? Make sure to select, okay, make sure to click away and then select it again and then test to see, go click select, just select by clicking on the color instead of from the white, because if you select from the white, you'll select both. Now move it to see if there's something underneath. Okay, so now let's just watch and see how you did that. Go ahead and undo and let's watch how you did your control or command Z enough times to get them to have two shapes again. Okay. Go to your shape builder. Okay. And now get rid of with the Alt or Command key, get rid of that one. He's on a Mac, and that's the color, the grid the Mac does is more visible than the PC. Okay, now go to your V or black selection tool and click away. So click on the white so that you don't have two selected. Okay, and now go grab one again and try to drag it out and see if you see both. Click and drag it out. You should have two pieces there. There it is. See that? So now undo to get it to snap back into there. And now with that one, hold down your shift key and drag it up until you, you lost the selection. Select it again. Okay, and now with your shift key, finger on the shift key, drag it upwards. You're clicking on something when you do that. The selection has to stay. I'm not sure what you've clicked again. Click again. And now keep dragging up. No, yeah, there you go. And now hold down your shift key so it stays exactly right. Perfect. Until you see those tips intersect. If you go past it, there you go. Perfect. Let go. No, you have to let go first of your mouse and then of your keys, or the shift doesn't hold. So try that one more time. When you see the intersect and you're ready to go, let go of your mouse first. Let go of your mouse first. Good. And now you can lift up your hands from your keyboard. And the reason is because if you lift up your hands from your keyboard first, then that shift lets go. And then if you weren't perfectly straight, it skews. See what I mean? That's why you have to first let go of the mouse so that the shape stays where it is. And then you let go of the shift that was forcing it to stay straight. Perfect. Perfect. Anyone else who wants a hand? You can see sharing a screen is easy, and see how once you share a screen, I can just kind of guide you into doing it, and it's easier than talking you and trying to through it. So definitely do that. Now I see a hand, Anne. Is that a new hand? Or is it there from before? No?
From before.
Okay, perfect. All right. So if no one else needs to share, I'll share my screen again. So we haven't yet talked much. We talked a little bit about groups. Remember the first day when we made the antenna, we grouped the antenna with the body and the handle with the body of the radio, and the antenna's round tip with a long line. We made a couple of little groups. So here's what we're gonna do. Watch. If I now try to click on one of these, I'm going to mess it up, right? So I'm going to Command Z. And if I have to select both each time, I might still mess it up. So what I want to do is I want to make these two be one thing. So I'm going to select both. And the simplest way is to click here and just kind of drag over both. I've selected both. I want them to act as one thing, so I'm going to make them a group. I can, if I have the properties panel here, and I selected two things, one of the options, because it assumes that one of the options will be group, you can click over here, or you can use a shortcut, which is Command or Control G, or you can go up to Object and Group. Either way, once you do that, now you've got a group. And if you click away and try to select it again, now they both move as one. See, so you're never going to lose that perfect connection. Does that make sense? That perfect intersection is done. And if you didn't get that intersect, if you go up, like, zoom in and look at how perfect that connection was. If you didn't see it say intersect, then yours might be a little bit off, a little bit in. and then the flower will be a little bit skewed. So I had you guys watch for the word intersect, but another way is to check is to do Command plus a few times until you see and make sure. And it's possible that you had even one little pixel pad point to the left, and then you'll have like a little edge. If so, you can undo and do that last step again until you get that perfect intersection. And if it's very skewed, it's a problem. If it's just a little bit skewed, next time you'll get it right. But now you have a group. Okay. Now, just so that we start keeping track of what's happening, you don't have to, but I'm going to show you the layers now. And then just because I want to try to make sure that you learn more than the basics. And when I click and open up that layer, then you can see here already, I'm beginning to have a group. These are all the loose petals of the other flower, which I can group, but they're not grouped right now. And here's this little group, which is each individual petal. So they're still individual pieces, but they're held by a group. Just wanted to remind you of this because we did this a few weeks ago. And so that little thing is my little set of 2 petals. Okay. All right. So now that I have this, watch what I'm going to do next. If I say that I want you to rotate this and you just rotate by clicking on here, it rotates from that, see, from the centerpiece of the group now, not the centerpiece of the leaf. So how cool would it be if I just rotate this and make a copy the moment I'm rotating it, and then I already have my second set, right? So I'm going to go ahead and make sure to leave this where it was. And for this, because the center point is so obvious, I could use the rotate and click in the middle, but my anchor might not end at the middle. Or if you did a perfect intersection, that middle is the natural center. So this is good enough. So once again, I'm going to hold down my, what's the key I need to hold down to make a copy?
Oh,
Hold down the Alt or Option key. And then I'm going to put my mouse on that little double-headed arrow and turn. And then when I see the line, when I'm not sure where to drop it, if it's here or there or perfectly right, one thing that helps is when you're about to be in the right spot, you also hold the Shift key. And if you hold the Shift key there, it forces it to the exact perpendicular. Either that or you look at the numbers, there it says 94, 93, or it's easier to just boom, hold the Shift key. So you're kind of playing the piano. I'm still holding the Alt key, which is giving me the copy. And then I tap the Shift key to make sure that it forces itself to be 90 degrees. Then I let go of my mouse. Oh, I didn't get my copy. Okay. My Alt is giving me my copy. All right. Oh, because you know what? I need to make it be a rotate because I'm doing it out here. So the copyingness of it is disappearing. So I'm going to have to do that correctly. I would have to use the rotate. I was thinking I could just rotate it and make a copy that way, but it's not because, yeah, it won't on its own. It has to be rotated. Okay, so let's go grab the rotate. See how the natural rotate point is already in the center because it's the center of the group. So instead of using the handles, I'll use the rotate, and I don't need to change its center because it's in the right spot, but I can because I need to get to the arrow. If I don't click, say that I forget to click, then when I go try to grab it, I'll end up clicking and moving the center point somewhere else, right? So anyway, put our click right there. Start rotating it by holding down the Option key. And then I'm going to hit the Shift right there to make sure it's straight. And then I let go. I got my little copy. Are you guys hearing like air in the background, or is it just me, like wind? Someone's sound.
I can hear it.
could you go over again? I ended up with just the one again.
Yeah. So basically, I had first told you to just use the black arrow key to the deter, but that's not going to work. So you need to go to the rotate. That anchor point in the middle, just kind of click on it again to make sure that you get out of the anchor point mode. And then you just grab and start moving. It doesn't matter if you do it before or after, but the moment you hold down your Alt and Option key, the little double arrow comes up, so you know this is a duplicate. And then here you can either use the green, the pink lines there to tell you there you got it or something, or you can hit the shift really quickly and the shift forces it to perfect 90 degrees. That's your choice whether you want to do that or you just want to wait until the numbers get you there, but that helps. And then you let go of your mouse first. Then you let go of your keys.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Usually thing that people do is they let go first of their hands and then your copy
Yeah.
disappears, right? So you
That's
need to
what-
first let go of your mouse, first let go of your mouse, then let go of your keys. So then your copy stays and it stays in the right place. So now we have two what? What did we copy? Did we copy a petal or two petals? What we really copied was a group, right? So if you look at the layers, now we have two groups. The first group that was parallel, vertical, and the second group that now that's horizontal. And if I open them up, they're each made of they're four leaves, but it's really two groups. We copied an entire group, right? Does that make sense? Now, how about we make a new group of these four petals, a group composed of two groups. So it'll be one group that has two groups inside. Does that make sense? So to do that, I'm going to select all of these petals, which is really two groups. Okay, so I have that group and I have that group. I'm going to just drag like this and get both groups. And I'm going to make that a group again. And again, I can go up to object and group. And if I watch what's happening here in my layers, I have one group now that's composed of two groups. And the whole point of that is because now I can move this willy-nilly and I move it as a group. Versus I'm going to ungroup it for a second. When it was just two groups and I try to move them, they're two separate pieces, right? So it's easy to get them to lose that perfect connection they have. So if I group them again, object group, then now I can select it and it's one piece. One piece made out of many groups. How are we doing with this? Is everyone getting their little four petals that are acting as one piece right now?
Yep.
Any questions before I move forward? Go ahead and make sure to save, Control S or File Save. Once you've got this far. Anyone need help with any step? Molly, cool, you're catching up.
Yep, good.
Rhonda, you asked about reviewing the snipping tool. Remind me at the end, okay?
Okie doke.
And I'm closing up. Remind me to share about the snipping tool. Okay, so now I have my four piece and we are going to do it again and again to create this complex flower. But before we go there, I want to show you a little bit more about how to work within groups. Because watch, I want a simple group like this. Let's select it. Look, if I back out by doing Control minus, 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 see my three places. What I want us to do is I want you not to lose this. I'm going to put it here and I'm going to leave that there because we're going to continue building the flower here. But I want to teach you about groups as well. So I want to make a copy of this. And so as soon as you select it, it selects as one piece, hold down the Option key and then kind of drag a flower here. And now you have two of the same thing. Does that make sense? So again, I zoomed out by going Control or Command minus minus. And then I just went minus minus minus. You see all three. And then I went and grabbed one, held down the Option key and pull out. And there you have another one, right? Okay, so I need one extra one. We're going to go build a flower on that one that I left there. Or on this one, I don't care which one. We're going to zoom in again. It's easier to zoom in if you select the piece first, because that's when you go Control plus plus, it zooms in right on that flower. Okay, so here's what I wanted to show you first about the groups before we make the flower more complicated. If you now want to change the color of this flower, because it's a group, it all acts as if it's one piece. So if I select this group and decide that my flower should actually be pink, we're going to learn how to make our own colors in the future. All 4 petals turn pink. Yeah. If I want to pick, select only one flower, and I only want this one to be bright pink and this one to be maybe a lighter pink and this one a lighter or darker pink or something, it's kind of hard because now all this is one thing. So there's a couple of ways around this, and you have to choose your way around this. Once you have a group, if you don't want uniformity, everything that you do happens to all of them, right? If you don't want that, then what you need to do is you need to be able to isolate each part of the group without breaking up the group. Because one option is to ungroup, paint the leaves different colors and group them, but then things can get skewed, right? It's kind of dangerous to do that. So here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to show you the 2 ways to isolate these leaves to paint them individually. One way, we already kind of know, sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder, is to use layers. So say I open my layers, I go to my group, I open my group, I select one of the little leaves, which turns out to be that one, by clicking on this little box in there. And then I go change the color of that one leaf. And let's make a very different color so you can see that I did that. So that's one way to isolate, using going down and digging deep into the layers, right? And when you have a lot of things you need to control, digging deep into the layers is a really good option to control stuff. But sometimes you have hundreds of little bits and pieces here, and digging deep into the layers might be harder than the next thing I'm going to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and do Command Z or Control Z to make this be pink again. Okay. And we're going to close this because this is one way. I'm going to teach you a new way that you don't know yet. So click away, get your leaves to all be the same color again. And this time what I'm going to do, this is physically, some people have a really hard time with a double click. If you have a hard time with a double click, this might not work for you. I'll teach you how to double click if you have a laptop in a second, but if you have a mouse, you select a shape and then you double click on that thing that you want to change. So I'm going to double click on this leaf, double click. Just watch this portion. Just watch what I'm doing. When I double clicked, I showed it to you the first or second day. I went into this thing called isolation mode. See how you see this gray line? And then it's not isolated yet. I double click again. And now I've isolated these 2. See how that went kind of a different color? And then I double click again. And now those are kind of ghosted. And this is my selected leaf. So you keep double clicking, double clicking, double clicking until you get to that final leaf that you want. Does that make sense? You end up in the same situation as before, but you go faster. Now watch, I'm going to leave all of this by hitting the escape key and I'm back to normal again. I'm going to show you what happened when I did the whole isolation. So watch this at the same time as me double clicking. Just watch this. Don't try to do it. So watch what happens in here when I double click. So now I'm going to choose this leaf and I'm going to double click. As soon as I double clicked, I entered isolation mode, but all I've done is select the group. So now I double click again, and now I've select my double leaf group. I double click again, and I'm down to just the one leaf. See how it kind of goes step by step in? So now I can go in and paint this one a different color, right? And then I can either hit escape to leave all at once, or I can step backwards to the second group or to the third group, right? or just go and double click again and double click again and double click again until I isolate this leaf. Now I'm going to go paint this one a different color. And then I'm going to just go click on one of these little ghosted ones and double click and double click and double click and double click until it isolates. So you just keep double clicking until finally it's the last thing left. And I know, once again, the colors are definitely nothing to call home about, but I'm trying to be really obvious. And when I'm done, now I have 4 leaves in different colors. I hit escape and there you go. Now I still have a group and it moves like a group, but I've managed to deal with each little part of this group separately. Does that make sense? Anyone for whom this didn't work or any questions about this? Okay, grab something and double click until you're left with nothing but the bounding box around that thing you want, and then change its color. And then you can back out. And if you look at the groups, you'll see that you have the double, you'll see here in tiny, but you've got all your little individual bits that you might need to twirl to see the inside parts and the inside parts until you see that's the actual pink leaf. That's the green one now. That's the blue one. That's the orange one. So your choice whether you start actually inside of the layers or if you just double click your way in until you get your final piece. Does that make sense? All right. So now that you got that down, we're going to go make a more complicated leaf, and then we're going to do some double clicking or layers to go in and start creating that final flower. So now I'm going to drag with I put down my space bar and I got my hand and I drag myself down to this one, which was the initial one that had all the same color. And I'm going to wait until everyone's here. Give me a little thumbs up or a little something showing me that you're all still there. And if you're showing your video, you can just do like that. And if you're not showing your video, you can give me a little digital emoji, but is everyone following? And nice to see down there, Ali, Robert, Molly, how are you doing with your little double click? I see you're doing fine there, Jen. Okay. All right. So Gustavo, I know that you still are, floppy with your computer. So I'm not asking you because I know that you're following through, but you're probably not, but you're working on that. He's working on getting a computer that works. So for his class. Okay. All right. So now let's go back to our skills that we had just acquired of rotating and twirling and duplicating. So if I want to create another group of 4 and twirl it here, I'm going to select this 4. I'm going to turn my rotate on. The center point is perfect. It's right there. So I click onto that center point. And now I'm going to start dragging my copy, but I'm going to hold down the Alt and Option keys so that it duplicates. And then if I want to find the exact position of the 45 degrees here, when I get near enough, by holding the Shift key, it snaps it to exactly 45. See that? And when I find this, this says 45 and I've got so basically in my fingers right now, we're holding the Alt or Option plus the Shift. The first thing I let go is what? What do I let go right now? My mouse. Let go of my mouse and there it goes. And now I'm going to actually give the entire 4 of these a different color of green, or I don't know, yellow. Yeah, I'm going to go for yellow. And if I look over in the layers, just to keep track of what's happening, I've got basically the green group of 4, the yellow group of 4, which if I open up, each one is composed of 2 groups of 4. See how it kind of becomes pretty mechanical? Anyway, now I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to click on the center point, hold down the Option key, and I'm going to get that little thing. And when I want to find the exact point there, I hit the Shift key. Shift key works for for 90 degrees, 180, 45 degrees. I'm not sure if it's working here. I let go. And now I'm going to give that one another green. Anyway, now, as interesting as this is, some of you guys are probably making some really fun color combinations. I want to show you one more thing. Each one of these is overlapping the others as solid colors, but I'm going to grab this top one now. I'm actually going to bring some opacity down, which I can do from over here, or I can do from over here. So I'm going to give it less opacity, and look what's happening. Suddenly I begin to have a transparency that I begin to see the ones that are underneath. I'm going to grab that middle one and give it a teensy bit of transparency as well, just a little bit, does it? And it's interesting, look at this other shape that's beginning to happen here with the petals. And we can duplicate that last one more time if we want. Anyway, whoops. Get that last one more time. Move it over there. And maybe I'm going to make this one a very transparent light blue. And now I'm leaving all these flowers. The light blue with a blue stroke doesn't work too well, does it? Let me give it another. Maybe a light orange. Yeah. Maybe a different tone of green. Ah, that one, a different tone of green that's very light. They need to darken the stroke to make it look as if it's got a stroke, because the other ones have. It's a bit better. So now I'm gonna make a little star in the middle. Oh, I got that weird star. It's not a star, it's more like a pentagon or whatever. It's kind of cute. I take the stroke off my star. I'm liking that. Now remember, I could have kept grouping groups of 4 into groups of 8 and then twirl those around, right? And you can keep going. But just showing you a couple different options of how to make a really pretty. And I haven't yet shown you how to make really cool colors. If you know how to, give it a try. But even if all you do is fill with some of these other colors, you're going to get a different option than even if you use one color, but you give it different opacity levels each time, or very contrasty colors.
Excuse me, Diana, I might be missing a step, but I'm in the Essentials Classic. I reset Essentials Classic and I see nothing in the Properties tab. Am I missing a step?
No, that was was it happening to you? It was happening to someone last week that the Properties tab was blank. Who was it happening to it last week? Is it one of you guys? Who was speaking right now? I wasn't looking at the screen. Molly, who was just saying that was happening to them right now?
I think it was Jean. Jean, is there Jean?
Jean, was it you? Okay. Yeah. Was it you last week who couldn't see the properties stuff either? No, I can't hear you. No, you need to unmute yourself.
Last week we went through the steps of getting Essentials Classic and resetting Essentials Classic, and I think I could see it, but I can't see it at all.
Well, go ahead and share your screen with me again and let's see. But I remember that we couldn't figure out why someone couldn't see their properties. And I'm trying to remember who it was. Maybe I know that Tim had to leave. Yeah, you got your Essentials Classic. You reset your Essentials Classic, and yet when you selected shape, you got to select your flower. Normally, you would see the properties. Yeah, but so we went through this last time too, right? That we couldn't figure it out. I don't know why yours doesn't do that. It's the
There
most
another,
bizarre.
is there another route from the menu bar to see transparency and all that?
Yeah, right above you, where it says basic and uniform code. Move your mouse to the word. Okay, the bar, that's the transform bar, the one that goes all along the top. That one, yeah. Move to the left. It says align. Move 2 or 3 to the left, and you'll see the word opacity. There you go. Click on opacity, and there you can choose the opacity. It changes from there.
Excellent.
You're welcome. It's almost like your version.
Is anyone else having this concern?
Because it's the same VDI. It's you. It was you last week. Yeah. Because I had taken the note of the Adobe preferences reset for the to see how come the properties panel was not showing. But they can only see the mistake happening to the person to whom it's happening. You know what I mean? And it wasn't happening to me, and I couldn't remember to whom it was happening. So I'm going to, when class is over, if you hang out for a little bit, restart your Illustrator by resetting all the preferences to scratch as to see if that helps fix it. And if that doesn't fix it, then you need to go to the tech support and tell them my VDI Illustrator is doing something weird, and you don't know what is happening until it's happening, and so you're the only one who can, because it's so weird to not have your properties panel is like it's dead. It's nothing there. Okay, so stay after a little bit after class, and then anyone who wants to hear how to reset your Illustrator preferences panel for the entire thing, hang out for a little bit and I'll show that to her. Okay, so there you go. That's the way out around it. Okay, up that top bar. Now you wouldn't have that top bar if you were in regular Essentials. So that's why I like having that there, because the Essential Classic gives you the option to do it either on the top or on the right side. If you're just in Essentials, you can't. So, okay, anything else?
That's it for now. I'll stop the share so you can go on.
That's fine. All right, anyone else? I'd like to see some flowers. Anyone who wants to share their flower with me? With all of us. Matt, Vanessa, quiet people. Oh, back there, who's that? Mary, cool. There's Mary's flower. Whoops, that was a quick flower and gone, but thank you, I saw it. Anyone else? Share your screen.
I'll share mine with you. I'm struggling. I can't believe it a little bit with the copy and the rotate.
Okay.
Oh, somebody else sharing. Somebody else is sharing.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Somebody's advanced.
Nice, Ali. Well, you know, the thing is, if you start with a petal that's not the perfect shape, you get, look at those flowers that you get, right? So she's just got whole bunches of little groups going down there, and then she made these other ones. I'm telling you, when I walk around behind people's computers, I love to see. Very beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Ali. All right.
How do I unshare?
Oh, I can stop you. You can go up to the top and say stop sharing, or I can stop.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I see it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very, very nice.
I know. So by the way, even if what you share is basic, it's where you're at. Okay. She's advanced. She's done some of these classes before. So there's people of different levels in class. Matt, you want to share it so I can see what's happening with your rotate?
Sure. My last class, I was working with one monitor. I upgraded to 2, so I'll see how this works.
So when you hit the screen share, then you get presented a variety of windows that you can choose one. Choose the one that you, where you see your
Okay.
flower, and then
Okay.
hit the second share.
Oh, I see. Are we there?
Okay. Yep, I'm seeing your flower that has four
Yeah,
four
that's
colored
it.
petals. Okay, all right, perfect.
Let me size it down just one notch. And
Uh-huh.
I'm struggling with the copy and the rotate. I mean, usually
Okay.
I'm pretty good with a mouse. This is a laptop I'm working with, but
Oh,
anyway.
and no, that's fine. But let me stop you there because I forgot one thing. I kept saying I'll show you how to double click to the, you know, when I was telling you how to go into each petal. Let me interrupt you for a second, Matt. With the mouse, it's easy to right click, but if you have a laptop, to right click, you need to put two fingers down. Okay,
Yeah, I
so on your pad, I'm just telling
Okay.
everyone else, I forgot to say that.
Oh,
Two fingers down is the right click. So that kind of gets me. Okay, so yeah. Now I'm with you again, Matt. I just
no, that's good. So I'm just not I'm struggling with the copy of the whole thing and the rotating of
that's fine.
nothing's, it's not working out.
okay. So go ahead and select that,
Select-
whatever you're on.
Can I just select it all like that
Yeah.
for starters?
Well,
And then
for starters, select. Are these grouped right now?
I believe they're grouped. Yeah.
Okay, then select only one of the. Okay, you have them as 4. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now go and click on the rotate tool.
Okay.
Yep, perfect. Now that rotate, put your mouse in the middle and click in that little center point. Yep.
So shouldn't it show me that I'm at the center point, or should I just eyeball it? Because when it says,
well, normally I zoom in and make sure to make center point be
Yeah.
precise. Like I
All-
zoom in a lot
right.
to till it's really big.
I'm going to call that good.
That's
So
good.
I've clicked once
Perfect.
on that.
Now move your mouse to the color. Yeah, one color, and click and drag, and it'll rotate on its axis. So click and drag your mouse.
Oh, really?
Just click and drag your mouse. Okay. Now, since you're not yet making it double up, it's not doubling up. So at the
Right.
same time that you do that, you're not supposed to let go of your mouse. Did you let go of your mouse?
Oh, shoot. I did.
That's
I
okay.
blew it.
Then go and hit the center point again.
All right. I hit it.
Okay. Okay. Now click and drag from anywhere that's colorful, and don't let go of your mouse, and now rotate the flower a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
So now hold with your hand, go to the Alt or Option key and press that key.
Okay. Double arrow.
And now with your mouse, keep rotating.
Okay.
now
I got
you're
it.
getting-
I
now
see what
you're
I was
getting
doing
the-
wrong. That's good. That's
Okay.
all right. I can have some fun with this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you let go of your your
God.
keys first.
What an
Okay.
old guy mistake.
No. That first time you do it, it's so tempting to you let go of everything at the same time, but your hands let go of it a split second before
Yeah.
your mouse, and so then your double stops happening. So it's okay. Just do it one more time. Yeah. And
And then
now make a point of let going just of your mouse. Keep your things pressed.
Gotcha. I'm
Good.
there.
And now you're there. And now you let go.
All right. That's awesome. All right. I see what I was doing wrong, and that was super helpful.
welcome.
And so now I should be able to rotate it. I can. Then I hold on that guy, and then I'm going like that. And then I let go of the mouse. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Got a winner.
Now, let me just show you one more thing before you stop sharing. Say that now you want to color these by groups, right? Like you want to color the whole bottom group or the whole middle group or the whole top group. So go ahead and double click on one of these sets. You have 3
Do
that
you
are
want me to
pretty-
narrow? You want me to go?
Not
Oh,
yet.
wait a minute.
Now
I need to
so
do
you need to
this.
yeah. Yeah. Good. So now hold on. Don't back up. Don't go so much. Back up one. Because I want to just show you how when you select the group of 4, if you were to now go and choose, and then you're going to do what I'm making you do, but go choose the color, and you'll see that now, since you've got the group of 4, go choose the color and all 4, because you stopped the double click at the level where you had all 4 of them picked, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
choose the
God.
color.
I'm just having a hard time picking a color.
It's okay. Oh, were you in the, okay. select again, you're in the
That's interesting.
double click again.
We're now down to 2 or a pair.
Oh, why does it not go back up and choose a color and it's not?
I
it
don't
just-
know. That's maybe I did
That's
something
weird.
wrong. Maybe
No.
I did something wrong earlier on.
No, no, they're groups, they're fine.
Yeah, it's for some reason.
Wow.
I noticed the program was a little glitchy. It wouldn't let me save. It was giving me an error. I think my machine's struggling a little bit with the Zoom
Yeah,
and
it's
the
probably.
program. I mean, it shouldn't be. It's a, you know, it's a decent laptop, but at any rate, I think it's struggling a little bit.
No, but
mine won't.
I'm doing it on mine too, and mine isn't coloring the group.
Yeah, mine won't recolor either.
Yeah, mine won't recolor either, which is, again, bizarre. This is one of those things I show every year. It's like Illustrator's
Yeah.
changing some of the things it's doing. I'm trying to recolor my group of 4, and it won't. It'll just go in and recolor only the individual pieces, but that is bizarre because what if you could handle a group or a non-group before. This is so interesting. And it's not VDI because you are not on VDI, right? So it's not a VDI issue. So I don't know why it's not. Normally
I'll
you should
make-
be.
If I select mine, it will do it.
Yeah, like if you double click and then select them individually, then you know, so here, go ahead and do your little double click to get to the bottom one, for example. Like double click to get to the 4 set that's underneath. And now click just to select, yeah, like click on one and then shift and click on the other leaf. Just click. Like you
Shift
select,
and-
just click one to select, yeah, and now shift and click the other.
Okay.
Then it will change 2 at the same time. And had you had 4, it will
Oh, I
change 4 at
see.
the
Because
same
it's
time.
now it's got the question mark. So it says, okay, pick a color. You got 2 of them. So
Yeah,
yeah. So
But-
let's just, I'll pick one.
but, so,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, and then
so, yeah, that's working.
but then you leave and you can get to the 4 or the 5. But before just getting into that isolation group would color it. Now you have to sub-select it. So anyway,
Thank you. It looks nice.
yeah. All right, I'll let you keep playing with your flower.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. Unless there's another question. Any other question? I'm looking at the chat. I'm glad you like this, Ali.
While I was struggling, you did a gradient. Could you just not quick, could you go over your gradient?
Yeah, actually, I was about to talk gradients, but you must have read your mind because in fact, I have not done a gradient yet. So interesting.
Oh, I think I meant opacity, but gradient came out of my mouth.
Because what you're seeing here, it kind of looks like gradients because it's an opacity. And basically all I did is see if I sub-select, why can I give the opacity to everything, but not the gradient? That's the part that was so interesting. Yeah, because if I sub-select this group, I'm going to sub-select that one. The opacity works. No. Yeah, interesting. You have to sub-select and then re-sub-select. Okay. So guys, right now, all of this isn't gradients. This is just the fact that opacity, transparency works one upon the other. But I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to do Control-0. I'm going to go ahead over to this one. And actually, let me make a new. I'm going to make a new artboard because I don't want to get rid of that bit. So I'm going to go to artboards and add one more artboard right here. And I'm going to grab a copy of this again. So I'm going to select this guy. And I'm going to do a duplicate of it by holding down my Option key. Okay, see how easy it is to keep. That's why I like having my original source piece there so that I can keep showing you different things with the same source piece. So again, to get that copy, all I did is I held down my Option or Alt key and just dragged out. Now I will color all of these with a gradient, but I'm first going to show you the pre-built gradients, as much as there's pre-built colors here in this swatch. And for you, was it Jean? Who was it? If you one of you guys didn't see this, then you can do it over here. It works just as well. I'm not sure why you're not seeing it there, but you can see it over here. Then all of these are solid colors up until here. And then you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 different gradients. And then you have some foliage and pompadour. So let me show you first the quick and easy ones. These two, foliage and pompadour. If I click on foliage, it fills with a pattern. And in fact, it's a pattern that has some transparency. If I had something underneath, this isn't really white. This is just transparent. If I click with this one, it fills with a different pattern. So you can fill with textures, with patterns, with colors, with so many different things. It doesn't need to be just a boring old solid, color. And you can choose your own colors. But I'm just showing you a couple of the choice. These are the set, like the established set that just comes with Illustrator. But you have these two little patterns. You have all the solid colors, and then you have 4 different gradients. I'm going to click on the one that's black and white, yellows to oranges, blues to nothing, and it's transparent. So if something were underneath, it's transparent. And then this one, which is kind of like a vignette for a photograph, which right now doesn't really apply to this. Now, for better or for worse, I'm going to head over to the orange to yellow because it's all color. The others end up in white and transparency. So if you fill something up with this gradient, it's kind of cool, but the gradient is all in the same pattern. It's going from yellow to orange, right? You're welcome, Molly. From yellow to orange, kind of from left to right, from yellow to orange, from yellow to orange. But it doesn't really kind of follow along with the design, right? Which is kind of, it would be nicer if it went like from yellow to orange radiating out like that, or yellow to orange, like it made more sense. So I'm going to teach you much more about colors and gradients and everything. But I just wanted to show you that at the very least, you can change some of the factors of these gradients. I'm going to click here on once you've colored with a gradient, you can click on gradient options. And back here, this panel popped up. And you can have a radial gradient, or you can have I'm going to teach you about the freeform gradient next time. You can have either the linear gradient or the radial gradient, right? So you can do those two, and then the radial gradient at least makes a little bit more sense. I clicked on something else which got all those lines, but it's still not the same as having it start from the center and go out. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to paint the gradient in the order that I want it into each of my petals. So first of all, did everyone get a gradient in? So select your flowers and go from up here, from whatever, and choose the gradient. But when you want the variety of gradient that's a bit different, if you go here to the gradients, the gradient options that show up there, and it's a panel that opens up another panel, which is kind of weird. So when you click on this panel, the other one disappears. Then I was showing you how you can go to linear gradient or to radial gradients, right? Let's sit on linear gradients here for a little bit. Now that they're painted in gradients, I want to show you how to paint a gradient that goes in different directions for these 4 petals. And then after that, we're going to call it for now, and you'll need more about the intricacies of making your own gradients later, but right now we're going for this one that's there. So let's head over. So this is where you color the gradient, but over here on the left, you have something that looks like a gradient, and that's the actual gradient tool. See that? The gradient tool. When you click on the gradient tool, you get this weird little set of lines over here. Each one of these allows you to control your gradient. So watch, I'm going to want this to go from dark orange to yellow. So I'm going to grab this tip, which is, I'm seeing the yellows over here and the oranges over here. I'm going to grab this tip. Is it not going to let me? Oh, because they're all the same. They're all, okay. I'm going to draw it then from here to here. And because I have the whole group. Okay, I'm going to undo that. It's because I have the group selected. Let me click away and sub-select one, double click. There we go. So now with the gradient tool, I'm going to actually go from bottom to top. And then if I do my selection tool and go double click, and then go and select this one from bottom to top. So I'm drawing my gradient tool. See, click and drag. And so I'm putting yellow in the middle. And I think I had said I was going to do the other one anyway. In the middle. And then I go select again my other flower. 1, 2, 3, 4, double click, 5, double click. There we go. And then, and again, from the middle to the out. And then double click, double click, double click, double click, double click, double click, double click. There we go. And then from middle to out. This one actually is the only one that was naturally in that position already because of it. Oh. All right. So when I hit escape to leave all of that, now I have a gradient that makes more sense, right? Because it's kind of radiating outwards from each tip versus the other that came. So you basically with the gradient tool change the direction of the gradient. And of course this, I haven't yet changed its colors or whatnot, but if I rotate it and drag it to the middle. If we have a little more time to show you gradient colors, I have a little bit more time. I can show you the gradient colors a bit. Say that I want to, let's for now give it the stuff that we know, which is a bit more of an opacity over the other one. And I get to see a little bit of a difference. I'm not liking that blue stroke that I have with this color. So I'm going to go maybe for a red stroke. I don't like strokes too much, but sometimes they work to make. I go for just a deeper orange stroke. They set some lines available. Anyway, so we're gonna be able to make our own gradients and whatnot, but go ahead and see if now you can consider this one here. Is it danger that if I click on something, it all goes awry because I never grouped it? So I'm gonna Control Z and I'm gonna grab this whole thing and group it. And now that it's a group, I won't lose, it when I click around. Now I can start clicking and giving it some cute colors. And let me show you, without making our own colors, where you can get your own cute colors and completely alter this flower. So I'm going to go ahead and double click until I get to the one petal. And now let's go either up here or down here to where we have our colors and watch. I'm tired of these flat colors. I want to do something more fun. Or I'm tired of these 2 patterns or of these 4 gradients. I just want something more than what's here or these basic colors. So watch what we're going to do. This is not inventing colors yet, but it's using a store of colors that Illustrator brings. So bottom left of the swatches, these are called swatches, like a little swatch, like when you go check out paint colors for your house, they give you a little swatch of pattern. These are swatches, little samples. I'm going to go to the bottom left of the swatches and it says swatch libraries. You click on the swatch libraries and there's bazillions of possible swatches of patterns, of gradients, of so much. So I'm going to head to the top one, art history. ancient. Let's see what art history ancient might be. I'm going to click on art history ancient, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here. And whoa, see, those are what it considers art history ancient colors. And I'm going to say that I like the, I don't know, this set right here. See that when I click on it, the Minoan. So if I double click on this little set and I go look at my colors now, look, I've imported them. See what happened? I chose one that I like. I double clicked on that little, if I want just one color, I double click on the color. But if I go to the little folder that holds them all and double click, and when I check my patches again, my swatches, there you go, I've imported them. Okay, now let me see if I want to import some other colors. I'm going to go back to art history and choose Middle Ages. Let's see. Oh, the Middle Ages are too similar. Let me go and try out some Renaissance colors. Okay, so maybe I'll go and try something totally different. So I keep going into the menu. Now I want something bright. Let me see, celebration colors. Whoa. Okay, got some bright ones here. Maybe I want some pastel tones for my flower. Baby shower 3 there. I just double clicked. When I go in here, I've imported baby shower colors. See how that works? I'm gonna go back and get some, let's go to nature flowers. Well, there you go. Flower colors. I'm gonna click on flowers. And again, you can make this bigger and let's see. Oh, look at this little palette of pinks over here. I'm going to bring all of that little passion flowers and peony. I don't know. So when I'm done with all of this and I don't want it anymore, I can close this little thing. And now I'm ready to start painting with all these colors that I just imported. And so I'm going to make it a whole range. So I'm going to go start with that pink, just a bit purpley, and I'm going to double click and double click that one. And so again, you should find them there or here. I'm going to go with that one and double click. And then I'm going to go with that one. Anyway, so as you can see, and I'm only doing the fill, so of course the stroke is looking a bit weird and green. But see, I'm not inventing colors, I'm borrowing colors, but it still works pretty well, right? If you borrow stuff that you like. I'm gonna go back to this guy there, etc., etc. And you could choose 2 at a time. I'm gonna go hit shift and do this one and this one. So now I'm gonna paint 2 at a time with this bright pink again. And now I'm gonna double click that one and this bottom one. Click. Maybe that little blue might match. I don't know. All right, so I'm repainting. Using the palette of colors that I got in from the library. And then I hit escape. And there you go. And it's yellow now. It doesn't fit anymore. So now I need to go and grab that little yellow and make it, I don't know. Hey, I'm going to make it, I don't know, deep purple. And all of it all together has the horrible strokes. So I'm going to get rid of the stroke for all of them. Because in this case, it didn't work. Or maybe it just needs a gentle, tiny little pink, soft pink stroke or something. Anyway, so without inventing new colors, but not having to constrain myself to that basic set, I was able to import libraries. We're going to talk much more in depth about colors. How do you transfer these to other projects? How do you choose? How do you make a lot about how do you make your own and all that kind of stuff? But that gave you huge access. Now I wanted to show you the patterns. You can have like graphics like lines and dots and textures or animal skins or oh, nature foliage. Let me try that one since we're doing flowers. These don't have groups, right? They don't have a group. So what you need to do is click on the ones you like. So I'm going to click on that one. And I'm going to click on that one. And on that one, I can barely see them. And on that one. So I've clicked on 4 or 5. When I go up here, see how I have all these new textures there? So I'm going to go and color these. I'm going to color these. Double click, double click, double click. And I'm going to choose each one of these to be one of the foliage patterns that are, there we go. Oh, that's what it meant by foliage. Flower, they themselves are flowers, which I'm not sure is the best thing for a flower leaf, but there you go. Just that. I just keep double clicking. I'm going to bring, if I select the piece, I can test it from in here and see if I like what I've got. Yeah, it would seem that foliage patterns don't work to paint. Well, that one could work. This one. Yeah. Go with that one. And one last one. I'm just double clicking like crazy. And let me find one more that works. Come on. One more that works. No. Yeah, that kind of works. There you go. All right. So there you go. I've managed to create a little, whoops, set of pattern fills for this, which are kind of cute, using just stuff from one of their pattern library pattern libraries. Okay. All right. So class is over for people who want to just leave, but for those who want me to remind you how to do the, oh, it's 8:01, so we need to leave, but if it's, but if you want to stay for me to show you how to do the screenshot one more time, I'll do that. So now if you are on a Mac, a screenshot, you go to your, write these down, you go and you hold down the shift key at the same time as the command key. So I've got my pinky on the shift, my thumb on the command, and then with my index, I go hit the 4. And I've got 3 things down, shift command 4, my fingers, like my left hand, and my mouse now has turned into this little shape, and I can go here to the left and drag and let go. And I've just taken a little photograph. It's a screenshot of this little foursome. Okay. If you're on a PC, on the other hand, you need to go find the snipping tool. So go to the type here to search and call the snipping tool. And as soon as you write the word snip, the app for snipping tool comes up. You click on the snipping tool app and you hit new. And then everything goes gray. You don't need to move this out of the way. It kind of gets ignored. And then you get this little cross thing. And then again, you click and you drag across the stuff you want to see. See how that thing disappeared? And once you let go, that's the snip you've got. But this has one more step as opposed to the Mac. You need to save it because it saves a little file. And now you need to say Files, Save As, and you call it flowers, Diana's flowers, or whatever you want to call it, you know. Oh, I had already written the word Diana's flowers. And then if you're going to save it and don't want it to disappear from this computer, then you need to go to Google Drive, double click on My Drive, Illustrator, Spring 2021, and then save it there. And then that's where And then that's done. That's been saved as a file and you can close it. Now, I said it quickly, so if you want help step by step, I can help you do it step by step. Other than that, that's officially the end. I want you to save this file. We never got to the ducky because we got into colors because I didn't know, I knew just we wouldn't have time for the ducky. So we'll be tracing the ducky next week. I kind of took it in the direction of colors instead. So we can save this file if you've done a Control S or a file save. Don't want you to lose it. Make sure not to leave it on this the VDI desktop. You need to save it on your drive to not lose it. And then this one where we've just did some learning, we can save. And then the ducky, we did nothing to it. So if I've asked you to save because you might have messed up with it, say no, because we don't want to change that one. And then you can close Illustrator. And you can close Bridge. And then remember that the safest thing to do is to sign out. So go over here, open up your Google Drive. So go to this bottom right. When I say over here, the bottom right where we open up our little upper arrow, click on that and find the Google icon. Click on Google Drive. And here we go to the gears. Preferences. And disconnect account. And yeah, this is kind of a bit of a bummer to have to do that every time, but consider that you're not having to get dressed, jump into your car, drive to the school, step out, lock the car, go to the lab, sit in a computer, open up, so all of that because you're just at home. So this is the whole driving to school, right? This is what it takes. But I'm stopping my share in case anyone needs help with any of the last few things that we did.
Thank you, thank you, Deanna.
Otherwise, okay. See you next week. Send me your stuff.
Thank you.
All right. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you learned a lot tonight, Ali, and everyone. Bye. So Jean, I asked you to hold on for something, and Rhonda asked you to hold on for something. And can you both remind me what it was? Well, one of you wanted to know how to do the snipping tool, and I did that
I'm
already.
good, thank you.
That was you, Rhonda. Okay.
Yeah,
And
thank
Jean,
you.
yeah, and Jean, I said I would help you reset your Illustrator, right?
I think I got it. I think it was my own PC, has little glitches with the mouse and all, and it's an inexpensive PC.
Huh.
And it has stiffness on the keyboard, so I think I resolved it.
But the properties appeared? It had to do with the keyboard? The properties
Yes,
appeared?
I did. I went through the steps several times and the properties appeared.
Okay, well, there you go then. All right. Yeah, it's one of those things that when it's a problem, I kind of usually know how to fix it. But when it's something like that, like the panel not showing, I'm like, I don't know why. So, all right. I'm glad then. Cool. Then
Thank you.
that's it.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, everyone.
Right. Diana,
Good night. Sí, Gustavo.
estaba pensando, me dijeron que algunas tiendas tienen descuentos para estudiantes.
Sí, si compras una Macintosh, hay descuento de estudiantes, una Apple, una Mac. Las PC, yo no sé yo no sé, no significa que no haya, pero yo no sé de negocios que hagan descuentos para estudiantes. Espera, hay un lugar que sí. A ver, te voy a hacer un share.
Okay.
Mira, voy a cerrar. A ver, te escribo acá en el chat.
Okay.
Collegebuys.org. Oh, collegebuys.org. Ahí va, ¿no?
Oh,
entonces voy a escribir college.org. Y cuando voy ahí, es un lugar que para la gente que va a un California Community College, como City College, hay muchos descuentos. Entonces, tenés que decir si sos estudiante o, you know, profesor. Entonces apretás en Under Estudiantes y te preguntan de dónde, California, estudiante, faculty, entonces te preguntan qué escuela, en fin, te preguntan cosas. Entras a este negocio, ahí tienen descuentos para los laptops o computers. Acá tienen cosas con descuentos para estudiantes, también software con descuentos para estudiantes. Acá si vas a comprar el Creative Cloud, te cuesta, es donde los vendé el primer día, es mucho más barato que si lo compras como estudiantes. Ahora, en Apple, si vas a comprar al negocio o online, si también decís que sos estudiante, también te dan descuento, pero el descuento depende del producto, no es que suponete 10% para todo el mundo, 20% para todo el mundo, depende del producto. Algunas cosas tienen más descuento, otras menos. Por lo general las computadoras, yo creo que el descuento, no te lo dicen, pero el descuento es más bien, por supuesto, cubre el tax y a veces más, a lo mejor es un 10%, algo así, depende de lo que vayas. A veces hay gente que dice que algunas cosas hasta 20%, otras cosas 5%, depende. Si vas al website de Apple, si las compras acá, es el descuento de esta gente, ¿no?
Oh,
En los artículos que te di para leer,
sí, los
te
estoy
habla
leyendo.
de refurbished, por ejemplo. Entonces, este es un ejemplo de te están vendiendo una refurbished. El negocio de Mac también te vende refurbished. Ahora, lo que tenés que tener en cuenta es cuánto es que podés gastar y cuál vale la pena. Las Macs son más caras, pero si las aprendes a usar y las tratas bien, duran por lo general mucho más tiempo y son, y si vas a hacer cosas gráficas y demás, tienen algunas más opciones, pero para mucha gente no vale la pena la diferencia de cuánto más caras son y prefieren algo mucho más barato que es una PC. Es una decisión que yo no puedo
Sí,
saber tu
claro,
necesidad interna, ¿no? Así que es cosa de probar si te dejan. ¿En dónde vivís?
en Santa María,
En Santa María. ¿Hay un Apple Store o un Mac Store en Santa María?
en San Luis Obispo, sí.
San Luis Obispo. Llamada a ver si están abiertos y fíjate si te dejan entrar, porque yo sé que en la de acá antes no dejaban entrar, pero ahora te están dejando entrar uno por uno, con turno, algo así. Y puedes entrar y tienen ahí un montón y las podés probar. Lo que pasa es que no sé ahora si las tienen abiertas para probar, por tocar. A lo mejor ahora las tienen, normalmente sí, pero ahora por el COVID no sé.
Sí, porque sí las he visto y la de San Luis sí está entrando la gente.
Preguntarles si están entrando porque les muestran una por una o si tienen abiertas todas que uno antes podía ir y probaba y te mostraban los features, a ver cómo te sentís con una. Porque es muy diferente que un Chromebook o que una laptop. Tenés que ver cómo. Yo enseño todas las Mac clases de cómo usar una Macintosh, las enseño, pero justo en Spring es la primera vez que no las enseñamos, pero en el verano, en el invierno, en las clases del resto del año las enseño. Eso pero bueno, esas tenés un pequeño, pero mejor que nada descuento. También podés, acá en este que te estoy mostrando,
Sí, sí lo voy.
conseguir. Y no sé en qué lugar te dan, en qué otro lugar te darán, no sé si por ejemplo vas a Best Buy, si esos lugares te dan descuento de estudiantes, no sé. Pero si vas a este lugar, o a Mac, o al Apple, y querés comprar con descuento de estudiante, tenés que usar el ID, suponete G Martínez Pipeline SBCC EDU, el email de estudiante.
Ok,
Porque entonces eso, ellos chequean con la escuela, ven que sos estudiante y entonces te dan el descuento.
ok,
Pero
perfecto.
no uses el email personal, usate el mail de estudiantes. ¿Ok?
Sí, sí, sí. Pues muchas gracias.
Y bueno.
Sí, porque el problema siempre fue la máquina y ay, no es un terror eso.
Sí, y mira, uno en una computadora podés gastar $500 o $3.500. O sea que es muy difícil proponer qué es lo que necesitas, pero si es así para la escuela nomás, no hace falta mucho. Pero si además querés hacer gráfico, editar video, empezás a hacer cosas que necesitan mucho, o jugar juegos, qué sé yo, la Macintosh no es la mejor para juegos. Si jugás juegos, te conviene una PC. O sea que tenés que saber un poco tus necesidades para saber para dónde tomar. Y luego tu presupuesto, por supuesto, porque presupuesto.
Este, pero es muy bueno ya tener así
Una idea.
a ir nada más y te quedas y no, pues
Es que nunca sé, yo entro a un negocio también de computadoras y digo, hay 20.000 y no sé la diferencia. Sí que empezar a, una clase que enseño en el Credit Campus es donde les enseño a empezar a entender computadoras y ahí esos enlaces que te di, son enlaces que les damos para que empiecen a tratar de ver qué tipo de computadoras pueden usar y qué sé yo, es cosa de
sí, no,
aprender porque...
sí, pero ese sitio se ve como bien y confiable también. Es lo que,
Este es sí, es un consorcio de City Colleges de toda California y se juntan para dar los precios. Estos son los precios más baratos que he encontrado. Así que el único problema tenés que si empezás a tratar con ellos, tenés que asegurarte de siempre fijarte en tu mail de la escuela. Tenés que ir a Pipeline y fijar porque te escriben ahí, te enseñan ahí. La gente dice, ay, no me escribieron y están yendo a su Gmail. Le digo, no, no, tenés que ir a tu Pipeline porque te están tratando como estudiante a través de tu mail de Pipeline.
claro que sí. No, gracias, Diana. Ahorita me voy
Ok,
a dedicar a esto.
bueno,
Muchas gracias, ¿eh? Hasta
seguí
luego.
preguntando cuanto más quieras. Ok, chao.
Gracias, hasta luego.
De nada.